and then let's proceed further. Okay, only one simple objective of the study, which is to see how the online Malay, not English, Malay newspaper covered that. The reason I stress the word online because there are differences between online and print or e-paper. E and print paper, they have more exclusive coverage. Online is like you have, this like a teaser for those who want to buy e-paper or the unprint copy. So it's not as detailed as the one that you get from the e-paper or the print paper. Yeah. Okay, this is a literature. I start with the statement death is inevitable, so nobody can accept death. And of course, every dies every 2 seconds. Yeah, according to this one, World Death Clock by Made India, yeah, you can see the projections. In a year, we have the number of people died. Yeah, 56 million died in a year. Right. As of yesterday, according to the World Death Clock, yesterday at 4:05, so that should be 42. Yeah, that should be 42 million people died as of yesterday. Yeah. So the number keeps on adding every second. Yeah. You can see the time the clock ticking every second actually. And then you can see according to WHO, one person died every 40 seconds from suicide. Yeah. So every 40 seconds you can see one person jumping somewhere, or from a building or from a bridge or taking something. Yeah. Then from Oxfam, one person died every 4 seconds from hunger. So hunger can be just in Malaysia, and you don't see that as a reason for you to die. But in some countries, that is basically one of the reasons for you to die because of the extreme hunger. Actually. Yeah. And then you can see this one. Of course, it refers to different media organizations. They have certain guidelines on how should you cover death. Yeah. The reason why, because I had when I visited for internship a few days ago, according to the news editor, one of the reasons why they tend to be very, very careful to cover, especially suicide, because one word can trigger someone to commit suicide. One word only can trigger someone to commit suicide. And then the reason they also, in the context of Malaysia, she will be receiving calls from someone from the authority, you have to tone down. If not, someone might be committing suicide after reading your message. The person might be feeling depressed. Yeah. Only one word is good enough to cause someone to commit suicide. Only one word. So for example, instead of using the word jumping, you might want to say the person fall from the sky or from the bridge accidentally. So that, and then accidentally fall from the bridge.
So tak normalize suicide lah.
And so happened that one of the key figures involved with that association is one of the daughters of the young Dr. Anako. So whenever they publish a story on suicide, wrongly or using all this sensationalist approach, they will be receiving calls from one of the daughters. For them to cover death is getting more restricted. Not only from the legal.
From Tengku Iman ke?
Yes.
Tengku Iman ya.
Yeah.
Oh, dia pernah masuk hospital sebab suicide ke?
Dia
penahung. Oh, dia presiden. Bukan dia. He's the newsworthiness, factors of newsworthiness, right? Like the Galton Rouge, tu kan?
And then you have died unexpectedly. Yeah. Maybe for example, someone because you recently there was an incident in Indonesia. The person died while dancing on the stage. She collapsed and then she died on the way to the hospital. Yeah, maybe this
masih dancing tu.
Extreme tiredness. Yeah.
Dancing, saya practice banyak.
And then affected any death which affected, for example, if the leader passes away, then that will be covered because that affected the society, that affects the society at large. Yeah. And then you can see this is a statement, a very interesting statement from Scandal and Michael Loeb actually. If people like me die, nobody will cover the incident. But if someone, maybe the Prime Minister, the wife of the Prime Minister, the son of the Prime Minister.
IUM. Lecture IUM. I mean, depending on the circumstances, right? Depends on the circumstances. Hopefully not lah, because of the circumstances.
Unless, so you can see this one. Then you have to differentiate between normal death and violent death. Violent death will be covered, but not the normal death or civil death.
Yeah. Why? Kan? Tak ada newsworthiness.
Yes. And then of course you can see mass death accident normally will be covered. This disaster will be covered. Right. And then of
Tapi
course.
one time Prof siapa dulu yang KLM tu? Prof Norehan. Prof Norehan at that time she was the dean of A&R. It was so called A&R kan. She was dean of A&R. It was during the Ta'aruf week tau, and she collapsed. And then it was covered in the media. Covered. Dia pasal dia penat, dia tak mati lah. It was not death, but then it was covered. Because it's a Ta'aruf week kan. And memang maksudnya jurnalis ada pergi campus and to cover the Ta'aruf. Kan? So
unexpected.
She was not supposed to collapse kan.
Oh, it was her collapse kan.
Bukan sebenarnya dia.
So basically these are some of the studies are very much consistent with this suggestion by Harkab and O'Neill.
Tony Harkab.
Then if the situation fulfill certain values, power elite, celebrity, macam Tengku Najih passed away pun covered. Even though she was no longer in the limelight.
Tapi sebab dia bangsawan.
Then you have the death of Raymond Go.
Itu pun cover juga.
Itu pasal media.
Media celebrity lah. Public figure.
Then you have a few more celebrities are cut in September now. So they were covered even though some of them to involve celebrity and then talk about the number of possible readers. Talk about circulation juga.
You remember tak yang Nurul Jazlin tu? It came back, right? It came back recently, right? After how many years kan?
Yeah, I think because they covered in Dalifah Mahkamah tu, the TV show.
Yeah.
And then one of the journalists, Syahri apa tak nama dia, dia cakap kat Facebook dia kan. So and then they started to interview the father again. Kan, balik. And anniversary
tragic death lah.
Anniversary of the death.
It was a tragic death kan, because the whole nation were following that, right?
So that affected the society in a way. And then relevance follow up pun depending on the kind of incident juga lah. Macam kalau earthquake in Morocco, yes, there are many follow ups. Kalau flood in Libya, you have many follow ups. The incident of lorry in Trajaya pun many follow ups. So certain deaths will have many follow ups. Depending on, of course, that also affected by the projected readers, how many people will read the story juga. And then the methodology only covered death involving human lah. So I didn't include all this. Kalau kucing mati ke tak include, pet mati tak include, only humans.
Tu kucing yang kena cap putih kat UIA tu. Jahat gila.
Malu kan?
Dia still didn't find the
bukan cat lily.
Dia kata dia offer reward lagi dekat Amuran Racket Club siapa yang bunuh. Kalau
Bunuh ke?
bukan bunuh lah sebab campak cap putih lah.
Not me.
Jahat. Mana tahu.
Bukan aku. Siapa ni?
Mana tahu. Ya, your supervisor dulu like cats.
Oh, that's like cat.
Aku kalau cek rumah aku, kalau cek kucing.
Dia kata nak hantar kucing tu pergi market.
Tak ada. Belum lagi aku nak hantar lah. Cakap macam tu. Okay, continue dah terawih. Dah lama dah ni. Kalau tidak lagi, please wrap it up. Sorry. Time you please. It's already like 20 minutes.
Okay.
The study excluded any news categories or features categories under court cases, features of tribute and follow-up of death which happened before September, only focus on September 2023. And then only from 3 online Malay newspapers, and then we have Metro. The first two are tabloid in nature. Unlike Putusan, Putusan is serious, and if you look at Putusan they restricted actually. Kalau compare dengan ada tu dia memang dia bagi like macam dia tak ada macam if you want to read a full story then you have to subscribe. Putusan yes, some stories dia macam kena dia tak bagi the whole thing. You have to either buy or you subscribe to the details. So they kata it's not worth doing that lah. And then from several sections only, from Utama or news breaking just now, update, and then national, and then you have global or international news, and then the data were analyzed systematically depending on looking at the themes. Yeah, okay. And these are examples of headlines. For example, that one was covered. The story on the first one was covered a few times because the whole family member died except for two. Yeah, except for two. And then this is I would say they dramatize the story actually in a way. Yeah. So when they dramatize the story, that appeals to the reader's emotions, and people want to feel related to the victims. And the flow was kind of high also. That's the reason they keep on writing stories on that particular case. Yeah.
This in Binan.
Yeah.
In Binan Road, I think.
Yeah. And then you have one. This is overseas. The agency Cucu Lelaki. That means male grandchild beheaded the grandmother. That happened somewhere in one of the European countries. That is because of the bizarre nature of the story. And then you have earthquake in Maghribi. You can see the higher the number of the victim, the higher the chance for the news to be covered as well. Yeah? And then of course you have this one, drag, drag. That will be like drag racer, and the incident was a bit tragic. Yeah? So that was covered as well. Yeah? And then you have this one. I mean, the reason why the story of scientist was published because he was the first person who invented the dolly sheep, the clone. That's the reason why. If he didn't invent that one, the story would not be covered. So because of his contributions. And then there are three. So because of the number 24, then you have one. This one is bizarre because the teenager died after eating the spicy tortilla chips. The piqué. Okay. Yeah. That this is spicy chips challenge.
Oh.
Yeah.
Then
you have one in Libya. Yeah. One in on Libya where you can see the cops are rotting, and it has become a challenge for the authority for those involved to retrieve the cops. Yeah. So these are the examples of infographic provided. This is from Al Jazeera actually. You can see one from Morocco and one from Libya. So you can see the scale. Right? And then magnitude. Okay, these are some of the initial findings. I will be able to share with the actual numbers. The story published by the CMO based on certain factors of the nature of death is, I think that is very, very critical. I want to use the word bizarre, the strangeness of the death. Yeah? Then number of victims involved and who died. Even if just a celebrity, only one celebrity died, that will be covered as well. But for example, in the context of Michael Jackson, when he died years back, the story was covered and then the media were criticized for over-reporting the story because they have many complicated stuff with that. Yeah, because the fans, they were very much overwhelmed and they wanted to follow the trend. Similar when Robbie Williams passed away as well. So they were given kind of reminders not to overly cover the incident, even if only involved one person in that sense, yeah, because of the status. And then who were involved. And as I said, is now if they say even if a leader is still alive, but the son, the wife passes away, that will be covered as because of the associations with the person who is still alive. Yeah? And then you have these, you can see most of the news were in the data, most of the news were on death from unexpected tragic incidents, horrific accidents, or bizarre incident. For example, this one, you don't see that one every day. A zookeeper was crushed to death by members. And then of course, this story are considered to be appealing to readers' emotions. And then in the context of Malaysia, you can see so many news on death due to accident. And I think this one correlates with our reputation. As you can see, this one according to the rank, our roads are considered to be among the 10 worst road in the world. this one was in 2012, and then you have we are the deadliest road in the world as well. Yeah. And then we also ranked as the most traveled country to drive car. So basically, when you have a huge number of accidents reported, then you know this might be the factors behind all this. Yeah. And then of course, in terms of the details of facts, the facts were obtained or collected from the official. They don't really speculate, or they didn't speculate. The reason because there are times they can be sued by the relative as well. And of course, we talk about privacy and respecting the death as well. So that is one of the reasons why. And then of course, there will be follow-ups if the incident involve something, for example, a tragic accident, horror incident just now. Yeah. Okay. And then conclusion, finally, alhamdulillah. And then of course, stated earlier, in a year we have possible for them to cover all. Yeah. So they tend to be very, very picky. And of course, you can see death involving these normally covered. You talk about tragic, violent, bizarre, celebrities. The number must be huge. And of course, there are many, depending also on the kind of news that you are reading. You talk about serious papers, they don't really cover sensationalized death. In that sense, of course, suicide is rarely covered because in the context of Malaysia, except for one family, there is one case in Malaysia involving three in the family. Anybody read the story? Where they committed suicide. Three, the mother, the children. And what happened was because they shared the house with another guy, another tenant. He didn't realize it until one day he wanted to insert the envelope. And it happened, he found that the door was sealed, and they have been there for quite a while. Right, that was covered because that is basically under police case, whether there is kind of any action committed by somebody to cause a damage. Right? So basically, this is the initial findings of my study that I got from. Okay. Okay. Sudah. Nak mau.
Ada tukar.
Tadi.
Siapa next one?
Who's next?
Saya.
Okay, katalah thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, myself.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Narawi, for very. Okay, so that is something that will be experienced by all of us, inshallah. But we want to be not to be covered lah, kan? Unless for good reasons lah, for all the contributions that we have made to the world, inshallah. Yeah. So we move on to the next presenter. Brother Syami, Brother Syami.
Tajuk dia Corena.
Ini tadi Tok Aisyah punya kan? Kenapa main punya?
Dah tukar pula.
Di kepala lah, di technical teach.
Ada pula ada dah aku lagi.
There's a folder below.
Tepi tu on the right, on your right.
No.
Siapa punya?
Mine. So news.
Dah meletup dalam kita ada. Okay, dah meletup dalam kita ada. Okay, so it's your turn, right? Correct? Okay.
So like to my account.
I'm going to kill you. No.
We can observe is these celebrity pictures is actually using social media to disseminate their sermons, disseminate their message towards the mass people. There comes a lot of problems as people tend to pass judgment and accusations toward others without knowing the really true source of information. They do not tabayun first of the information, so they really just run their comment first, and then they will see what happened. So they really want to find the sensations on the social media. Okay, next.
Recording in progress.
Okay, so thank you. So basically, I also want to see what is the media industry player, because when we talk about Islamic celebrity pictures, it comes from Islamic TV programs or Islamic shows, radio program. Basically, what is actually going to happen here? Because industry players tend to use these Islamic-centered pictures or to mold these Islamic-centered pictures for their own benefits, for their own intention actually, right? Because one of the literature that I found in 2020, it says it says that the credential or the credential and also the qualifications is at seconds actually. The first things that people like to see is their personalities and also their, like if they're handsome, pretty. That is the most important thing, especially for the industry media player. And then how they present, how they send their message is actually very and also X, because in Malaysia, the popularity of Twitter is at number 7. So it's not really popular because the number 1 for in Malaysia is Facebook. So Twitter comes at 7. Just 5.5 million people only just use Twitter. So it is because I think I observe is because Twitter is very hard to use. It's very hard to understand how the things, all of the algorithm, because there is a lot of things inside Twitter. You have to know about the comments, the retweet. Right now they have changed the name, repost and everything. So I think that's why there's just a few people, just less than half of the Malaysian population to use Twitter. So I think it's very interesting for me to know a little bit more on Twitter or X. And then obviously, just Fauzi in 2007 said people often use social media as a tool for spreading fitnah. So I think that it's a very significant things to look at. Like younger generations, they're really enthusiastic with this social media. So I think that is very significant for me to choose them as my samples. So to know is really IUM students are really engaged to Twitter. That's what I want to know. And then another one is I want to know is these samples really know about the issues or controversial issues about the Islamic-centered pictures in Twitter. And then after that, I want to identify the level of parasocial interactions. So basically, PSI is also my theory framework here that I'm using for my research, because PSI is actually an relationship between media figures and also the audience. So, and then after that, I want to study the relationship between Twitter exposure, or Twitter usage activities toward PSI, and also the exposure of the controversial issues on Twitter towards PSI. Okay, so this is my hypothesis. So I will say that the more people use Twitter, the more people can get the information about or get the exposure about Islamic-centered pictures. And then controversies and issues will influence on Twitter user perception toward Islamic-centered pictures. If they have a bad perceptions, if they face bad information about the pictures, so so this is my methodology. Media research activity, exposure to Islamic-centered pictures twist, and my DV is parasocial interaction toward Islamic-centered pictures. Okay. So what is my result? Okay. So the first thing, what is the level of exposure to Twitter among IUM students? So is it IUM students use Twitter, or what are the really know or care about the information of the Islamic-centered pictures? So all I can say is that the student is it's not really care about what happened to the Islamic-centered pictures, because if the Islamic-centered pictures get caught, or for example, or been charged on the court, so the student is not really care about this one, about them, and they just skip to another information. Okay. And also the student also do not interested with Islamic-centered pictures controversial issues. Okay, the next result is what is the level of parasocial interaction. So this is I want to know if the student is really like this Islamic-centered pictures or not at the first place. Okay, so the result is the mean is 2.33. It means it's negative as well. So all I can say that the student have low parasocial interaction. They do not really like Islamic sensitive pictures, because and then the student don't really that kind of engagement toward these Islamic sensitive pictures. So this might open our eyes what is really happened in our university especially. And then the last one is just a relationship between my variables. So between variables, I can conclude that just only one significance toward the others. So basically, the exposure towards Islamic sensitive pictures could have slightly influence. It's not really. It's a weak positive influence towards parasocial interaction. It means that if people use Twitter and they facing a lot of information about controversial issue on Islamic sensitive pictures, they have quite an influence toward our perception or our parasocial interaction toward Islamic sensitive pictures. But the time amount of Twitter usage activities are not really influenced with our perception on the PSI. So for that, this is my just a very brief conclusion. So basically, I want to look on at the perspective of media industry player. You know, like the producers, the person who create the Islamic program. Okay, maybe we can preparing this celebrity or this personnel for the Islamic content program. So this is very important because right now in this current scenario in industry, people do not really tend to do this kind of how to take a person for their programs. You know, because they really want to say, okay, you are really good at talking. Okay, you have some kind of figures that I like. Okay, you're in. Okay, but all the credential is just put it at the side at the first place actually. So it's really problematic for Malaysian setting that I can say. And then religious affair authorities can work with media industries. You know, like maybe Jakir Mawib or maybe religious minister can work with TV programs or radio stations, you know, like to setting or to create a guideline. Because right now we have a guideline. Jakim is already come up with the guideline, but it's not for TV programs actually. This is just general, just for public only. But maybe it's really good if we can, you know, like create a guideline for the person who want to appear on mass media, TV, radio, and also social media. So I think it's really worth to look at. And then the government authority is also one of the things. And then the last one, I think that is worth mentioning is how to reconceptualize halal media. So actually, the model of halal media is already here. It has been introduced to us for a while now. I think that the first country that been used halal media is Arab Saudi. So maybe it's already here with us for halal media, but it's not really, you know, like go into depth about this kind of model. So maybe for the next studies, maybe we can see how much impact they can get from this concept called halal media. So for that, I will conclude my presentation. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.
Is there any questions from Imran, Nadia, Aida, or Corena?
Mashallah, I think it's this first research, yeah?
Yeah, this is my first.
Mashallah. And it's so interesting about your topic to see how our students engage with that issue. So in this issue or in Islamic issue in general, but I need to ask about the concept of halal media.
Okay.
This from where? And because I think the Islamic media, I could be because, as you know, we are from different cultures.
Yeah.
So the halal media, for me as an international student, the first time to listen to that.
Okay. So basically, when we talk about for Malaysian country, we have halal tourism, we have halal health, we have halal food, obviously. So basically, all of these halal initiative is to gain the trust, especially for Muslims, consumers or Muslim audience, to engage towards this kind of services. So basically, this halal is actually is really good for marketing as well, because people, for example, when we talk about halal food, even the non-Muslim restaurants also want to take that certificates halal for their restaurants, because it can gain even much more customers go to the restaurants. So I think it's also the same concept for halal media, because right now it's very problematic, because how the media especially in Malaysia portray their news or their stories. Because right now, for example, when we talk about entertainment programs, it's really wild what I can see especially in Malaysia, because they do not cover their aurat. They do some maybe like very explicit things even in public televisions or radio. So I think, and also how they write on newspapers as well, right? For example, that people get caught because of the rapping issues, But the media portray the word rape is very explicit. So I think it's really not suitable for media for mass audience. Right, because mass media is really been accessed by all kind of people at all level of age. So that's why I think that this halal media can prevent that, and also they can get a set of guideline on how it should to portray Islam, and also ethical message on media, TV, radio, and all of the social media.
I think I may add that halal media, in terms of what it's saying, that now I'll talk about it in my presentation of 4 P's of marketing. Each institute or media company, they want to maximize profits, so there is this conflict of interest. If you try to root a halal initiative, just like tourism and other things, hotel and food and beverage, so it creates a consumer perception that this one I'm going to work it. I work with my daughter, I can work with my son, with my grandfather, without being, So that's why in the suggestions, he was looking at how these Jakim and all these organizations, Muslim organizations, can come up and guideline. This is what should be done at least. But the problem is, for example, just in Saudi, you need to have a good budget. People can have that are going to do it maybe for free, because each company is looking at making profit. That's why they will bring in a celebrity, as long as he looks good, or star who's controversial. As long as the producer thinks that, oh, we shall get advertisement, we shall get marketing, people will come and we get money. So they'll bring everybody, even if they just know just Al-Fatha, they just talk about things they don't know. So they end up making a lot of noise, as long as the media will get money. So they don't focus on the real issue of content. So this is the problem. Otherwise, it is good.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the questions and for interacting with Brother Shami. I would say this is something that we can look into for your thesis. Okay. will be developed further later on. Okay, now finally we are on time. We have our last presenter, last but not least, Brother Yahya, who will be presenting on agenda setting, and also the supervisor is conveniently in with some food also. Is that for us or just for you? Dr. Maiduli? Is it just for us or just for you? Okay, go ahead, tafadhal.
الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Firstly, really, I am so glad today to present my presentation and paper for my thesis. And alhamdulillah with Dr. Maiduli as my supervisor. And alhamdulillah this work done after 1 year by her comments and by my examiners also. Dr. Aisha, actually when I start my study here as a new student from Palestine, and to start how to look about the topic for your thesis, research methodology, and with Dr. Noor, it's really going to see what the articles, what the studies, the Palestinian researchers do, what is the area. And by reading, the door is open by one, and to see there's many areas they're not focusing about it. So because that, I chose today to study about women and children, specifically about agenda setting and representation of women and children in Al Jazeera and BBC media, and select Al Jazeera and BBC because we speak about in the different regions and could be the culture and the proximity and the differences between them. So, as we know, the function of media and the mass media to produce the news and the stories and what's happening for people around the world and in their surrounding, and people engage with that mass media. And recently with the social media, all the news has today pages in social media and interact with the Twitter and TikTok. And when we speak about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict as is one of the critical issues in the world, all who around the world and listen about that issue. And of course, we have, for example, in Palestine around 1,000 offices that international organization work in the ground. And we have around 4,000 of journalists who work in the ground to cover that issue regarding the conflict. And we use the term of conflict could be object as academic research. And there are many researchers who use crisis, who use the war, but we as well follow the principles of research to be objective and to be impartial to study. In my cases, the Israel launched war against Gaza Strip on May 11 and lasted until May 21 in 2021, that the last war. And before the Israel launched around 4 wars, but we use that cases because the huge number of the victims it's become from Palestinian children and women children. And in my study also studying and investigate Israeli women and children, and of course Al Jazeera and BBC, they have offices and they have huge teams in the ground in Gaza, in West Bank, and this war it was in Gaza. For research objectives, the main objective of this study is to examine the coverage of women and children in the recent Israeli-Palestinian conflict of May 2021 in Al Jazeera and BBC, and of course, beside how objective is the new networks in reporting about women and children. We have could be the 3 main objectives. The first one is to analyze the frequency of the news reports and the news images about the women and children, and for the objectivity I have under that variables of objectivity to examine that objectivity, to examine the framing and to examine the use of diversity of sources and to examine the direction of news reporting, to evaluate and to measure that objectivity of news coverage. And the last one, to examine whether there is a significant difference between Al Jazeera and BBC in their frequency and in their objectivity. For the method and the procedures, the research design was quantitative content analysis, and the sampling is around represented 169 of the news stories were chosen during 2 weeks. And for unit of analysis, the primary unit was the news report and breaking news, because as we know, during the war and the high and of the news, it's breaking news. It's become, for example, in one day could be we have 100 or 200 of news. It's become breaking news, and after breaking news, the reports and the stories, it's become in that challenge or in that network. For reliability, I do of course the pilot study, the testing, the coding sheet, and for intercoding in my study. It was the last one, 0.94. And data collection has taken something of written news, and beside it the images, because the images it will be also measure the portrait for women and children. The data analysis I used Casquare is non-chromatic analysis and descriptive and frequency and percentage. Before just I want to speak about the theoretical framework. It's just about my study. I used agenda setting before the key of findings. That I believe could be the agenda setting is can to support the researcher to determine how much the women and the children are covered during this war, and it's help to measure content and determine dominant frames and news sources and the message tone, and also to determine their objectivity of BBC and Al Jazeera. And in my study, Alhamdulillah, I have some contribution. It's we speak about women rights frame and child rights frames. In my my result, the news coverage of women and children. In general, my studies found that the categories of women and children, that the Palestinian women and Palestinian children and Israeli women is covered more in Al Jazeera than BBC. And if we can see now, the Palestinian children, it was the high number of who covered by both Al Jazeera and BBC, because unfortunately the most of the high number of victims become from children. And beside it, the images, BBC Al Jazeera, it's used more images than BBC during in its coverage. And for the portrait in visualization presentation, in general, the Al Jazeera portrayed women and the children as the victims of violence more frequently than BBC in their images, while the BBC portrayed them as more normal than Al Jazeera. And we speak about the culture, we can also speak about the policy of editors, we speak about the problemicity between Al Jazeera and BBC, and the policy of Al Jazeera could be Al Jazeera more open to show that images how the children during the war, but while Al Jazeera it's more, BBC it's more to use normal images to be that war, it's not include the women and the children. This reflected that agenda setting idea that the media can set different priorities and frames in the same issue. This reflects agenda setting and mention that media framing can influence how the public views particular issue. The type of music framing in my study around 5 frames. Each frame had 3 questions. The first one, the conflict, morality, and responsibility, and woman rights frame and child rights frame. The last 2 frames about women and children, that new frames in my study to measure that frame, and inshallah could be in the future development more that frame in my PhD, and also could be the Palestinian researcher and Arabic researcher and international researcher can use that frames in inshallah in future studies. This study, the child rights frames emerge as the most frequently in the frames and followed it by conflict frame. In general, in literature review, if we need to compare between literature review and my study, in Palestinian and Israeli conflict, the most frequently in all the studies it was conflict frame. And in my study it's become, because it's focused in about women and the children and the child right, it's become the most frequently between the frames. And this study found that Al Jazeera had more major frame become concerning the child frame, minority and responsibility frame. Also the BBC Al Jazeera, it's more included in the message about moral frame. For direction of news, my study also investigate the content about the three scales. We speak about the natural or balance and favorable and unfavorable. The study indicates that Al Jazeera and BBC covered the news report naturally. The chi-square result is a significant difference between Al Jazeera and BBC. And that BBC Al Jazeera it's more natural than BBC. News sources it's very important variable to measure and to investigate how the narrative, because as you know, the news sources specifically in Palestine and Israel conflict, it's become measurements and discussed between scholars and researchers that investigate. We have I used official and non-official, Palestinian official sources, Israeli official sources, and correspondent expertise, and Palestinian non-official sources and Israeli non-official sources. In general, BBC it's become relied more on their correspondent, because Al Jazeera has in the ground, we speak about 12 of correspondents in Palestine for Al Jazeera, and BBC around the 3 of their correspondents in Palestine. The narrative of all of Al Jazeera and their sources it's become from their correspondents, and BBC it's become their sources is from Israel official sources. And when we speak about the differences in chi-square, we can see that the sign is significant in the Israeli sources, because BBC it's relied more than in Al Jazeera in Israeli sources, and between Al Jazeera and BBC, Al Jazeera relied more than BBC in their correspondent. Mean that could be Al Jazeera it's more natural for to rely their stories and their narrative from their respondents is not from official story or statement. And that all. Just I need to make conclusion, because I do it short. For the last about the research limitations. In my limitations of my study, it's the first one, the time frame of conflict, because I measure just 2 weeks. Would be inshallah for future we can select more times. It's like 4 wars for PhD, and the focus scope for 2 international news networks, that's just Al Jazeera and BBC, would be more in future research. It's like CNN, it's like Arabiya, it's like RT, TRT. And also important that, inshallah, alhamdulillah, in my study have contribution in that we speak about 2 new frames that study measure that. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, and thank you so much. That is small my presentation of my paper from my thesis.
We hope to see you inshallah in congregation this year. I think it was a very well written thesis, and we were congratulating you on completing it. And also under the guidance of your supervisor. I'm sure she was not very nice during the 2 years.
Like right.
That's why it was so successful. Thank you so much. Alright, so now concludes the presentation for this session. Is there any final questions for Brother Yahya? Maybe Dr. Rahul, do you have any questions? Aini?
I have one.
Aida?
I have one. Maybe I missed some information, but I'm interested to look at the word balance there. So what does it mean? To be more balanced. To show news coverage to be more balanced.
The last sentence.
The last sentence,
which
yeah.
means show the news more balanced.
What does balance here mean?
It's about the natural mean that the Jazeera most their stories and the information from their correspondents who in the ground, who it's like take information from witnesses, from families, from people, and they produce that information in their TV.
So which?
Because
from,
we have.
I mean, because usually when we talk about balance, there must be
Yes.
two sides, right? So okay, now Al Jazeera getting their news or information from the correspondents on the ground. Okay, so that is one perspective. I mean, the information that come from one perspective, right?
So
to make it balanced, so to compare with what?
Compare between other sources. For example, here we speak about Jazeera. It select all multiple sources, for Palestinian sources, from official, from unofficial, and from correspondent, and beside it, from Israel sources.
Okay, all right.
But unfortunately, BBC just focus about Israeli sources as the main sources, as it would be you look about the differences between Jazeera and BBC in Pi Square.
More balance in terms of source, right?
Yes, exactly.
Information source.
Yeah, exactly.
Also writing. And the writing as well.
And also the content?
Yeah.
The content also.
And content.
They have different measures of balance, objectivity, is diversity of news sources, and then neutrality of reporting.
Reporting and news framing.
And?
News framing.
And news framing. Three indicators of balance.
Oh, okay.
I hope that answers your question.
Answers.
Kena supervisor tak answernya.
Itulah. Kata step mother ni.
Ada.
Step mother sangat.
Step mother sangat ni. Mesti nak kena lah pasti.
I would like to hand over to Dr. Aini for the next session. Thank you very much for presenters and congratulations.
Boleh pakai
jumpa tak?
I nak pergi jumpa Alan.
Jumpa tak?
Dia orang tinggal lagi. Lepas tu dah warning panas. Dia tak boleh guna. Nasib baik tak meletup.
I send
Oh ya ke?
new ones.
Dia baru nak start ya? Tak.
Cannot. You
Sebab dia habis awal kan dia break dulu kan? Kita baru habisan yang first session. Itulah kita lambat sikit. Atas dah habis dah. Oh dah. Makan ya. Session makan. Must be habis.
Dr. Aida
Kamarudin submitted your proposal, but he never answered my WhatsApp. He submitted your proposal to the department.
So
I don't know.
so
I want to know where he
we
is.
follow this sequence. Kalau ikut follow the program, you are the first presenter. So I'm the second one.
You second.
We follow the
Follow yang dalam buku lah.
follow in the program book. So I'm the first presenter. So each of us the first one.
Will be having 12.
I'm mentally preparing myself to be the second.
Giving 12 minutes.
10 to 12 minutes.
Nombor 3 kat aku ya?
Question and answer.
Nombor 3 ayat.
Ingat yang
Tiga ayat.
Ya.
So we'll start with me. Dr. Aida, Dr. Nobaidin, and then Imran. I'm just presenting. Yeah, because it's already time for presentation. Sorry, we don't accept any more news cards.
You present like that all.
Yes. Present. Okay, so I'll be the first. The second will be Dr. Aida. Dr. Aida, followed by Maduri, and then Brother Imran. Right. Okay, so we'll start with my presentation. 10 minutes each, yeah? So we'll see. I don't remember.
Thank you.
Half an hour, is it done? Okay, basically I've changed the topic. It is a little bit, I've made some changes to the title of my presentation, yeah, from the one that's written in the program book. But basically the
the topic is actually the same thing. Yeah. So I'm actually interested to see on how social media is used, yeah, in higher education institutions, mainly in the library. How do the librarians use social media in what do you call it? Work, yeah, at workplace. So how do they use it for work purposes? Yeah, not for the personal use. It's more on how do they use it for working purposes. Right. So basically, social media here is defined as collaborative online applications that enable participation in activity, user-generated content, sharing information, collaboration among community users. So in this case, in this definition, I also include WhatsApp, yeah, instant messages also included in the social media part of it as well. Apart from the social media, we have Facebook, Twitter, yeah, Instagram. So those two instant messages also included. Right. Social media, we have it. This is something that's not new to us. Yeah. So we have social media users. Yeah. The users of social media in Malaysia is quite, I think it's quite high. Yeah. In terms of, I don't have the statistics according to the countries, but Malaysia is actually one of the highest number of social media users globally. Right. So social media can also facilitate closer relationships between libraries and their patrons. So normally social media are actually in the literature, based on the literature, the librarians tend to use social media for them to communicate, for them to have a good relationship with their clients, with the users of the library. However, not much studies conducted to see on how social media is used, in the libraries. So I then conducted these studies. So for your information, I've just completed my data collection last week. So this is quite new, just recently. So this is initial findings. I'll just share with you the initial findings. Of course, not the complete what you call it analysis discussion. Not up to that. Because normally qualitative research will need a long time for you to analyze data. So this is, I will just share the initial findings of my research. So if you look at the library, so I'm actually conducting my study in this university, IUM, we call it IUM Darul Hikmah Library. If you look at the mission of the library, they actually would like to somehow deliver the high quality and comprehensive information, resources and services to support teaching and learning research needs of the clients. So they basically are trying to assist the community in this university, the IU community, the students and also the researchers. Right, so I'll just go straight away to the research questions due to the limited time that we have. The first one I would like to see on what are the social media tools used by young libraries in the workplace. This is for the working purposes, not for the personal purposes. And secondly, and how do they use it to fulfill the responsibilities of the workplace? Okay, so these are the two things that I would like to see. So based on the self-determination theory, I conducted studies based on this theory, framed by this theory. So this theory assumes that basic psychological needs, there's the needs for competence, autonomy, and relatedness influence employees and social media use, behavior, work, and social related use. So this theory is very much used to see the social media use at the workplace. So this is more on looking at the what you call it, the needs. Looking at I would say that this is actually a theory which is used in the psychology, psychology discipline. But this can also be used in this study. Alright, so I conducted semi-structured interviews with so far I managed to get 10 respondents within a limited period. So I conducted, I analyzed data using Teams. So now I'll just go straight away to the findings. So these are the social media tools that are used by the library. Perhaps some of you might be familiar with it, use it, become the friends. But I myself also am not aware of this social media use by the library until I conducted this study. So after conducting this study, then only I follow.
We have to learn.
Also, because I need to know what are they. So they have Instagram, they have Facebook, they have Twitter, X, call it X. They have also TikTok, but they're not that active using TikTok. Twitter, X also not that active. The one that's highly used is Facebook.
Instagram also quite active, yeah, but Facebook is the highest in terms of utilization. They also have WhatsApp, yeah, so you may add friends of the library if you want to receive what you call it, the latest update about the library activities. So you may somehow ask for joining this, yeah, friends of the library. They also have Telegram. This is also quite active. The library, they have a lot of members, 1,081 members so far. Yeah, and then they also have blog, but this one is not that active now. Before it used to be active before, but now no longer. Yeah, and then they also have YouTube. So if they have any program activity, so they now somehow they posted here as well. Yeah, but they only have 1.2 million subscribers. Yeah, but quite high. Alright, so perhaps after this you may want to join this group. You may want to follow this social media. They actually have a team, yeah, which manage this social media. Social media they call it I think it's corporate communication unit, corporate communication division. Yeah, which manage. They only have 2 persons, two staff managing this social media. Yeah, so that's why it's very active. You can see if it's I think I follow Instagram or Facebook. It's 3 to 5 posts
every day.
Every day. Quite active. They're quite active.
We have to have these 2 people in our department.
Yeah, they have it. They have it, but it's also managed. Whatever content that they want to post, it has to be somehow filtered by the top management, by the library top management as well. So they've got to look at the contents first before they post it. So it's quite well organized, I would say, because I also conducted interview the head of the social media, corporate communication unit. Alright, so I'll just mention just now, but when I interviewed the respondents are mainly the liaison librarians, including ourselves also, our husband can test, yeah.
So in terms of grade, what grade?
Grade and 41. There are the one that's higher apa? Higher. One tu yang ni, the one apa yang dekat dalam dia dekat kaunter tu.
Itu bukan 41 pegawai.
Circulation kan? Itu
selalunya pegawai ni dipanggil orang tu AD tau. AD tu for
designation, and then the department that they deal with. So somehow the use of social media is different based on the divisions that they deal with. Yeah, macam apa yang tu what you call it, they deal with the collection, with the references, so it's different.
They have to make themselves relevant,
yes,
because the library is, there are many changes. We don't need to go to the library and borrow books. We can get things online already. So that's why you can tell that they have this urgency to engage, because they have to make themselves relevant.
So the difference in terms of, I would say, in terms of the age, yeah. So those are 40 years old and above, yeah. So they normally use Facebook lah, not Instagram. The younger, just like our age lah, kan. So the younger will tend to use Instagram.
Dr. Shah boleh TikTok.
I'm in the middle.
Yeah, okay. Dia midlife crisis.
In the middle. So those who use live, WhatsApp is also used. This one is like mandatory lah. Everybody is supposed to be in the WhatsApp group. They have one WhatsApp group for all staff. It's just like
it's like a
for all the top management. Punishment. The one in the lowest lah.
All the words there.
Right. That one I don't ask.
Must be many kan?
Many. It's also kind with the new deputy director, so he's also in the WhatsApp group.
Must be quiet in that group.
I don't like
the
that.
deputy director there.
It's
Must be quiet.
It becomes formal lah. It becomes formal. Because when I ask whether those yang 41 kan, whether they they normally post any message or not, dia kata tak, unless dia kena panggil lah kan. They've been asked for it, they've been asked to see something about it, then they only see something about it lah. Otherwise they won't. Okay, so what do they use it for? The social media is used to convey information about library's products, services and activities to its users lah.
normally case is acting kan, acting the chief librarian. Yeah. But she used to be itulah head code in the library, not the head at that time. This was in 2000, I think 2004 kot, the blog. So she's the one who mentioned about the social media. She's also active in using social media. So that's why Lovely is quite active now, using social media. So we can see the trend is that the top management is active, then so you can see the culture is there. So that's what happened in the library. And she's the one who also replied to any comments. If there is any comment in the Facebook, so she's the one who's going to respond to the message. Right, so the first here, the library products, of course, I think this all organizations will do this. They use social media for them to convey information about the service, what they offer, what are the services that they. So what normally the library, apart from of course these books and lending books, what they normally conduct is the activities and library activities such as information literacy classes. They also conduct this kind of information literacy classes as well. WhatsApp status. So normally when they use WhatsApp for the library, for the liaison librarian, they normally share it with the kuliah management, the senior deputy director if it's in this kuliah, and they also use IM email. And they also mentioned that they need to promote it because this is part of their KPI. So marketing the products and services using social media is also one of the KPI. So they need to use it. This encourage them to use it more.
But are they studying the effectiveness of what they're marketing?
No.
Maybe
look at the effectiveness.
Does it equivalent to more people coming?
I did ask that question as well, but they said they can't tell. They can't tell me about it because they can't say about it. You can't tell because but I think one respondent mentioned about it that people from outside as well came because of the social media. So they posted it to alumni as well. So alumni managed to get the information via Facebook, via Instagram. So they came and they attended the program. So perhaps that's also effective, isn't it? So if they say if they use they compared when they use the time when they use poster, the printed poster, it doesn't reach people outside, even outside Malaysia, isn't it? So that's actually, I think that it because this is qualitative. If it's quantitative, perhaps you can tell by your numbers. This one in terms of what they mentioned, I think it's quite effective. Because they share it via WhatsApp, via Telegram. They managed to get also the people, the respondents, what they call the response feedback, from the students, not only students but also staff, attending the programs. They also mentioned about the challenge as well. That they also receive hatred comments. So I did ask what kind of hatred comments that you receive, but they refuse to tell me what it is. Something that's controversial. I'm not sure what it is about. Because I asked also, is it about the closing hours during the prayer time? But she refused to tell me what it is about. But this social media team will need to act fast. Once she got it, she had to somehow delete the comments. But before she did it, she said she had to somehow communicate or ask for advice from the top management first, and then they could somehow decide what to comment. Alright, then information literacy skills. The liaison library is quite interesting as well. Some of them are also the writers, book writers. They write books as well. So they use it is perhaps could be personal, but I would say this also somehow that's related. This is the culture of librarians, so they also write. And perhaps they don't write journal articles like us. They write something that's the books that's quite. It's not books, it's just perhaps like novel, book chapter, So they write it. So they actually use the social media for them to enhance their information literacy skills. So they tend to discuss about book writing, how to write the skills, the workshops that they need to attend. So they somehow have a book, what they call it, page, library Facebook page, that they follow. So they have a group of librarians working on books. So that's how they enhance their information literacy skills. They learn from others as well. So they also have connections with other libraries of other universities, not only among them, but also with other libraries. So now Facebook or the social media is used mainly to enhance their relationships with other universities, libraries of other universities, not really in what do you call it, the same organization, the same library. They also use the social media to improve their services offered to the users. So this one, what was mentioned to me during the interviews was about the improvement on the quality of the book donation. And they somehow distributed a poster on when you want to donate a book donation, what's the criteria of the books that you need to donate. An old book, a recent book, that kind of thing. So they managed to improve the criteria or the book, the condition of the books donated to the library. So that's actually the benefit of the social media used by these libraries. The same thing with the book clearance process for graduating students. Students normally when they are about to graduate, they will need to do the clearance, isn't it? Clearance process. Before it used to be that you've got to bring your form, application form to get it signed. But nowadays they don't use it, they use QR, scan QR. So that's actually posted. They come up with a poster and then they share it in the social media. So students will get it. They don't have to go sign the form anymore. So this improves the services offered to the students. Okay, this is quite interesting. That the librarian, the liaison librarians especially, so they actually send this most of the time their task is to promote the academics, perhaps students as well, on what we are doing here, our research. So whatever that we have, they will somehow promote it through the social media. It's just that I'm not sure why they don't do it. When I asked whether they also promote new books, that they have new book collections, they said they don't, which is quite, I think, surprising that they don't do it. I think perhaps they're supposed to do it, but I think somehow they said perhaps they're going to do it in the future. They just promote the researchers. Perhaps they have like a book, let's say a book. If you have a book, any researchers, academics who publish book, so they will call for a what they call it, like a sharing session, book talk series. Yes, they call it book talk series. So I think many of the kuliah researchers, academics have somehow participated in this program. So that's actually how they promote the program, the researchers. They also have this book, what they call it, IUM on news. They have that kind of section as well. Where they promote students and staff writing, and those who write in the newspapers, so they put it. So they actually promote, that's how they promote us, the researchers.
So I think because library they have very strong tradition of archiving. And also they are the champion for knowledge management for the university. So they are the ones so they know they have to implement because they are the champion for that. So archiving, sharing, arranging,
creating,
classifying.
I think we found one book on the history of the kuliah from the library.
Of course,
at one time. Because one of us didn't have it, but they're the one who have the copy. They should know about it.
Because for researchers,
Having said that even at our own micro level macam kita ni pun kena ada knowledge management tu. Kita kena practice supaya nanti bila people come and go, especially macam kita bila course online, we have to
storage
kita storage betul-betul.
So one respondent also mentioned about it that the social media is also used for storage, information storage. They store information there, but it's more of posters activities ataupun video So that's actually where they keep it their activities, promotions. And then they also use it for interpersonal communication. This is within the organization itself, within the library itself. They tend to enhance interpersonal communication
relationships. Yeah, so one respondent mentioned that she's not close with one of the colleagues, but when she posted something about the activity, so this colleague, her colleagues commented. Yeah, so this somehow enhanced good interpersonal communication. So you can see someone who's quiet in the workplace, and then somehow they can speak more. I would say speak more in the Facebook, the social media. Some people are different. Yeah? Okay, and then they also use social media for task-related communication with colleagues, superiors, or subordinates. So they tend to use this one for this purpose. They tend to use WhatsApp and Telegram. Yeah, not the Facebook. Instagram is not used for this purpose. Yeah. In fact, so they mentioned that the tasks that require immediate response could be used. Yeah, for communicating with WhatsApp. I think this is common that everybody will use it. But they mentioned also is somehow it's very difficult for them, especially those who are in the low grade. Yeah. So somehow they have they've got to be careful. Yeah, to write something in the WhatsApp. Yeah, some even said that they somehow were scolded. It was approved by the top management. So they've started to be careful on what to post in the in the WhatsApp. WhatsApp. Nowadays it's WhatsApp. Okay, so they said one mention here, I only post message in WhatsApp when required. I don't feel comfortable to write messages in WhatsApp group, which consists of those who are in higher authority. So you can just imagine the top when the bosses are there. So
why are they there?
They refuse.
Why are they there?
Because they say it's compulsory. It's what they call it, ops library something. They have all the staff will need to be in there. So normally if there is anything, the discussion is just among the top management. So,
yeah, it's like top down.
Yeah, it's like top down.
Not really
so
discussion.
they're not supposed to even say anything there. Perhaps they're not
look at announcements.
Perhaps they just want
instructions.
to know. Yeah, they just want they know what's going on in the library.
Yeah. And the higher authorities are just in there.
Yes.
On.
They also avoid unnecessary meetings.
Yeah.
Every time meeting physical. Instead of all meetings, just get the communication in the WhatsApp group, or in your bed, in your car. Instead of every time meeting, the board needs to tell an information. Then where anybody can say this, I saw students still in the book, that one maybe in another platform.
Yes. Or maybe there is anything that the top management doesn't have any information from, so he needs to be, to get the feedback, the response very quickly. So that's actually where the place where you can get information from very quickly. It's just the liaison librarian mentioned here. WhatsApp, so look for solving problems which require solutions. Yeah? If there is any question asked by members during the Kuliah board meeting, so other libraries in the WhatsApp would help provide answers if necessary. It seems that they don't know what to say. Yeah, if let's say the dean or members in the Kuliah board meeting ask any question, so they don't know, so they will ask anybody in the WhatsApp to provide them with the answers. Right, so now we come to the conclusion. That the use of social media in library had somehow helped them to market the services and facilities, even collections through the social media, mainly Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. They only have 6 posts only. It's quite recent, less than 1 year. They are not that active even, because you see it's very difficult for them to provide contents. Contents normally they get it from others. I think they only have 4 contents that they somehow came up on their own. Even though it's quite new, I think it's quite good in terms of reaching the new generation, the students especially. But this is quite difficult for them to do. Okay, and then it also helps to overcome problems. Since library customers are now more direct, since they notify the library if they are satisfied, if they are not satisfied, anything related to the library. So they use social media. It's actually it's easier for them to reach the users. Okay, so I think that's all from me.
Tanya tadi masa in dalam tu kan ada tanya cukup tu.
Okay, so you want to say a bit? You can see. Or you want to control? No problem. You can. Sure.
Okay. I'm always talking about IMC, advertising, and so forth. So I decided to talk today about Islamic IMC and its significance to the halal industry, because I mean that's how it's significant. There was a report a few years back by the Halal Development Corporation that said that there's more demand for halal products than there is supply of halal products. That's how big it is. No more demand and not as much supply. So, I mean, as someone teaching communication, IMC, advertising previously, so how is this relevant, isn't it, right? Now, the whole idea is, of course, in terms of the promotions aspect to the Muslim market. So, Muslim spend is forecasted to reach 2.8 trillion by 2025 at a 4-year CAGR of 7.5%, according to the DINA standard. So Muslim spend of halal products. So this is a huge amount of money, which means that we need to promote the products. And the industries that have the most consumer spending are Islamic finance, halal food, cosmetics, modest fashion, travel. Talked about media just now, and recreation and pharmaceuticals, and these are, these have the most consumer spend, and I'm sure the list will go on and on, because the more people become aware, Muslims become aware and inclined towards halal products, the more they will be expecting them, all products around them to be halal. So it used to be very few, isn't it? The list of products used to be fewer than this, but it's gone to expand itself in such a big way. And looking ahead, the Pew Research Center estimates that by 2050, the number of Muslims worldwide will grow to 2.76 billion, or 29.7% of the world's population. So there's this growth as well of the Muslim market. So it's if you do a feasibility study, isn't it, in terms of the relevance, or whether it's doable, or to have halal promotions, Islamic IMC. Of course it is, because of the Muslim market, and the industry, the halal industry is huge. Now, Muslims make up a majority of the population in 49 countries around the world, and the country with the largest number is Indonesia, with about 209 million people, where 87.2% of the population identifies as themselves as Muslim, and India is has the second largest Muslim population in the world. So you can imagine we're talking about huge numbers here. I was in Indonesia recently, and of course Indonesia, previously I was in Bandung, I was in Riau recently, and you can feel the vibe. My daughter likes to use that word, vibe. The vibe where, it's Islamic in the sense that there's suraus around, you go to the restaurants and then suddenly they have a surau there that you can use very easily, and people wearing headscarves, and then the hospitality is very Islamic, and so forth. So you can tell that you can feel the vibe there, the Islamic vibe. They don't drive as badly as us as well. They drive better. I heard Dr. Nirahu saying we are, terrible at driving. Yeah? So Muslims are growing globally. There are about 2.3 billion Christians in the world and 1.8 billion Muslims, and the gap is expected to narrow by 2060. And can you imagine the number of Christians and number of Muslims are going to be about the same, isn't it, right? So this is something which gives a lot of prospect to, Islamic IMC, the need for Islamic IMC. So we talk about the 10 countries with the largest projected number of Muslims in 2030, and so we have Pakistan, Indonesia, India, Bangladesh, and so forth. So there are many, and these are all markets for halal products. Imagine you were to be, isn't it, producing halal products. These are the markets that you should be targeting. You're talking about the size of it, and the target audiences, the target markets, right? The prospective target markets, target markets that will be interested in our products. So it's really important to sort of monitor how the market is growing, the Muslim market. Now, for Muslims, Islam is a way of life, and of course we use values that we call to be universal. But of course, if you know the nitty-gritty of it, like if we talk about freedom, you know, our idea, we look at it as an ideal, but our definition of freedom is different, isn't it, as compared to the West. So that is, so it's, you know, it's got the difference there. So the thing is that makes it a little bit sensitive, you know, for us and others who are probably who are Muslims but not really embracing this idea of Islamic advertising, IMC and whatnot, right? So it touches many sectors as well. So you can see, you know, how this diagram looks at the bigger Islamic economy, isn't it, right? Where we have the Islamic faith inspired ethical needs of Muslims. Now, when we talk about, you know, Muslims, there are many types of Muslims of different religiosity. They have different religious commitment, isn't it? Yeah, you have the more lenient ones, right? It goes on a, you know what I mean, a continuum. Yeah, there's a whole spectrum of them. More conservative, less conservative, and whatnot. So it's, I mean, it's kind of sad in a way. This is why when you say things like Islamic IMC to the industry, they will be like, what's that? You know, Islamic advertising, what's that? They can't really gauge it, they can't digest it because they don't see Islam as a way of life. You know what I mean? I mean, that's my interpretation of it. They won't say it like that. They'll just say, I've never heard of it. Right. What is that? Right. So, but the thing is, okay. Yeah, so the thing is, you know, Islamic, so they will say that. So you have to use the right words to promote the concept, even the concept itself, right? So when I did a study previously on Maqasid Syariah and Islamic advertising, we interviewed advertising agency practitioners, and they were Chinese. So you can imagine we had to use the word, you know, words like ethics or, you know, couch it in a different way, because they'll be really scared if you talk about Maqasid Syariah and give them a whole lecture, right? They won't be very, you know, receptive in a good way. So study findings, okay, there was a study that was divided into, that found 3 themes. Firstly, a high level of religiosity makes Muslim consumers follow the Islamic principles of food consumption and so forth. But there's also the other theme where religiosity has no influence on food consumption, and it is more about individuals' needs and priorities. So, you know, there's the contradiction in themes, right? Which is, and for me, okay, for a person who's advocating Islamic IMC, we still need to believe that the audience needs to be educated on the ideas, regardless of religiosity, right? Regardless of religiosity, okay? So it means that there are many potential customers for halal products, and we need to form IMC campaigns for the Muslim markets. How does that look like, isn't it, right, for the Muslim market? And then we need to understand how they work, how they function, right? The Muslim target audiences. Now, what is IMC? IMC is the practice of coordinating messages from all marketing tools as well as from the marketing mix. So you're talking about the marketing mix after this, right? Yeah, the 4 Ps, right? Marketing mix is the 4 Ps. So we have product, price, place, and promotion. They all communicate something. So, you know, we talk about Louis Vuitton, isn't it, right? Bags, they communicate prestige. The brand communicates prestige, right? As compared to, you know, a lesser known brand, isn't it, right? So where they are sold, they're sold in KLCC, isn't it? On the prestige floor, that in itself, the ambiance communicates prestige. The pricing, they don't have sales discounts, that communicates prestige. The product and the fact that, you know, it's handmade and it, you know, it's done with care, that all talks about prestige. So we have to be mindful of that, right? And also the marketing communication tools as well, under promotion, also communicate something. So they need to be used together in a way that's, they complement one another, but there's a single theme that runs through. the whole campaign. So there could be other marketing tools, like whenever my students do IMC campaigns, they like to use influencers, right? Influencers, and then there's this idea of guerrilla marketing and whatnot. So all of these need to be used well in such a way where they're used together, so that there's that synergy effect, so that they are used together and the effect is greater than if they are they're used individually without a single theme going through. So that when you think about advertising, it's like creating awareness. PR is about establishing relationships, so reinforcing it. Sales promotion, discounts, right? Marketing, selling straight to the target market, and other tools as well could use. So when they're used together in a way that is complementary and also uses a single theme, then it can be very effective. So Islam has to run through all of this. That's what Islamic IMC is all about. It has to run through all of this. And when you talk about some of the elements of Islamic IMC, we talk about practice of shura. Yeah, so businesses should be conducted with Islamic values. There should be stakeholders who sit down and discuss and agree with the definition of Islamic IMC, or what constitutes non-Islamic IMC. And then the whole idea that the process of IMC is, coming up with messages requires different stakeholders coming together, right? That's the whole idea. And they need to be agreeable to what is okay, what is acceptable, right? So all stakeholders should agree with what constitutes irresponsible or un-Islamic IMC. We need to realize that we are Muslim, we're vicegerents of Allah. We need to emulate, isn't it, Allah's attributes, right? Yes. So the thing is, we need to realize that as a marketing communicator, as a person, as a practitioner, as the client, right? All the stakeholders need to realize that we have that responsibility that goes beyond simply selling products, but we need to educate people in terms of the ideals and whatnot. So that is also important. Yeah. So the whole idea of the common good, as well as personal value of the consumer. The consumer's personal value also has to be addressed, as well as the common good. And then, the whole idea that we are working towards the hereafter has to be also, thought of as well. It's not only this world and we finish here, but whatever we do, we're accountable, isn't it? Yeah, and we must realize that we have another world, isn't it, that we're aiming for, and we're aiming for eternal goodness in the hereafter. And if you realize that, you will see that whatever Islamic IMC messages you do not want them to have effects that are negative, isn't it? That will create immorality. That would be, cheating people or whatnot. You would, if you have that perspective, because it's a bigger perspective that we're looking at. It's not simply we're doing our job and selling products, and that's it. Khalas, right? We finish with sales, okay, and then we report high sales. No, it's more than that. So that's why the responsibility is really big on us. So if only people realize that, then they would, understand that they've got to make sure that the effects are good. So Cadbury is one case where in 2014 it was, they found, it was, some reports actually said that it was the Ministry of Health that found pork in pig DNA in 2 of its products, the hazelnut and the almond flavored chocolates. And you can see how people were not happy. Not happy is a very nice way to put it, isn't it, right?
Also.
Yeah, not happy with the fact that the halal status of these 2 products was questionable, right? Was being questioned. And you can see how, for Muslims, especially food, isn't it? We're very sensitive about food. And then suddenly Jakim said, okay, we carried out tests and they're halal. And Cadbury had to come up with a whole campaign to restore the credibility of the brand. So it's such, such a big thing. It affects your sales. At the end of the day, it affects your sales, right? That's where it's so important to get right and make sure that when you talk about Islamic IMC, the 4 P's, the product is halal. If it's not halal, then forget about halal media lah, whatever, right? Halal this, halal that. Forget about everything else. And then you want to market to a place in Pakistan, maybe, right? I mean, looking at the bigger Muslim markets, I mean, that is a selling point. Although it may not be an ideal for some, but we have to teach them that it is, you know what I mean, prescribed, the ideal. Whether they accept or reject it is not our problem, isn't it, right? But we have the idea that we need to enjoin good and forbid evil. So the Islamic worldview comprises three fundamental principles or doctrines according to Prof. Tamim. The first one is the belief in God. So we look at IMC from the Islamic worldview, belief in God. And then the second principle is a belief in prophethood. The third principle is a belief in eschatology, the everlasting life of human beings and so forth. Just to create some kind of structure. When we talk about, you know what I mean? When we talk about Islamic worldview, what do we mean, right? By it now, we need to define that so that we can apply it. So there's this holistic orientation that needs to happen. So the idea of the end-to-end process of IMC means that from start to finish, it needs to be Islamic, right? The end-to-end process is different in different ways. Like e-commerce, it means from the time you put in a request to purchase something, to the time where the products are delivered. In this case, if it's IMC, it's from the time when you can say at the start, right? At the start, even go further to the product itself, because the product communicates something. You have to make sure it's halal, isn't it, right? Right to the end. So there are many models that talk about IMC ending with purchase, ending with sales, right? Some people may say, but IMC is not about that. We just want to create awareness. No, ultimately it has to lead to purchase. So like for my students, I look at their sales records at the end of their campaigns. How much of sales did they achieve, for example? Because it's got to lead to that, right? So the IDA model, Liebig-Steiner model, facets model, effects all end with action or behavior, purchasing behavior. Marketing mix, according to Professor Ahsanul Haq et al., is also needing to have that Islamic orientation. Islamic IMC can lead to quality consumer relationships and originates from Muslims' role as vicegerents. Let's say that the research says Islamic IMC doesn't lead to quality relationships. We still need to implement it, but we need to review what kind of messages we've been sending out. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that we follow the trend. People are rejecting Islam. It doesn't mean we stop, right? We suddenly promote something else. No. So the thing is, we need to keep on using it. Yeah. For the younger generation, you've got to keep it, to be cool, isn't it? Right? It's a cool, right? Islam is cool. It's cool. You know what I mean? It's not like for the old and the dying or whatever. But it's a cool way of life that we've got to embrace, and that is something that we have to think about. How do we market Islam, right? How do we market Islam? So policymakers, according to Prof. Kamal Hassan, the late Prof. Kamal Hassan, Muslim policymakers, intellectuals and scholars are duty-bound to promote the Tawhidic paradigm of holistic development and holistic knowledge. So the whole idea of Islamization of knowledge, human knowledge comes into being. And then you have Prof. Dr. Said and Akib Al-Attas and Professor Dr. Ismail Raji Al-Faruqi, who pioneered the concept of Islamization of knowledge. And there is revealed and acquired knowledge, and we've got to make sure that they come together very well. If you talk about this to people outside from a different university with no Islamic name, it's very challenging. They will say, what is that? Right? It's not that easy. We just throw the word Islamization here. But you suddenly go out there, you talk to people in the industry, you talk to people, khalas, you're gone. You know what I mean? They look at you like a preacher, in the wrong place. I was giving a talk on Islamic advertising at a conference, and there was a Chinese lady next to me. She looked at me like she hated me. And the thing is, it's not even for her. You know what I mean? And then I need to sell the concept in such a way where I need to say Islamic advertising is needed for the Muslim market. You know how big the Muslim market is, you know what I mean? I had to sell it like that. Because, Tauhid Farida, whatever, right? And they just don't believe in things like that. So you need to market it differently. So that is a challenge. So the IUM of course looks at integrating, isn't it? Yeah, acquired knowledge and revealed knowledge. And in conclusion, Islamic IMC needs to be implemented, and the facets of epistemology, ontology, axiology, theology are focused on when we talk about the Islamization of knowledge. So maybe this is what I'm going to be looking at next. So that's the whole idea.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Aida, for an interesting presentation. I think I'm not going to look for any questions because we have 2 more presenters left. May I now invite Dr. Nabaidul Roslan to present your
You bila di situ
Oh, sini.
ada props.
Kalau Dr. nak tunggu kat sini, kat situ.
Kat situ kat sini ada satu
Kalau
bidang.
ada kan?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can sit here.
Main susun. Ada props ada props.
Oh my god, that's so good. She brought the product.
Brought the products and selling products.
Is it Islamic? Dr. Aida asked.
Aida kau jangan tanya Islamic tidak. Dia bukan tanya aku konten dia, ingredients dia.
Aduh, okay, foto.
Retinol ni ada dah.
Doktor kata doktor ambil doktor advice.
Doktor advice tu tak kita bawa, rahsia.
Dah tak ada guidance. Okay, smile first with the product. Okay, but you're selling it. Alright.
So this one, I forgot there's another one.
Ada lagi satu. Belakang sikit doktor. But this one is that the one aging product?
These are all for reverse aging, So all for reverse aging. You can test.
tak relevan.
I will make it relevant. Okay, sini. Okay, so I can present from here, yeah?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Sorry, my daughter prepared the slide for me, so it's maybe not Sharia compliant, because I did not have time. So okay, you do whatever you need to do.
Islamic marketing.
Okay, so okay, so to disclaimer dulu. Okay, so Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good afternoon to all. So my presentation today is based on an empirical study, which is I'm just reporting the preliminary results of a study that I'm conducted recently, and it's actually still ongoing because I'm still doing some more qualitative inquiry into this subject matter. So the topic is discourses on social media algorithm and dermatological literacy among young women. So basically, maybe most of you here are men, you may not be able to relate to this topic, but most women are very concerned about dermatological issues. Yeah? So that led me to this topic. So basically, the purpose of the study is to explore into the narrative on social media usage, social media algorithm, and dermatological literacy among young women. So basically, since this is very open, so I'm actually conducting this study as part of my initial stage to develop a more robust instrument to be used for quantitative study. So I'm using this platform of inquiry to tease out possible salient themes, which can be translated into conceptualizations and operationalization later for me to develop my own instrument. Hopefully I will be able to do that soon. And to understand the dynamics of different variables in influencing young women's preferences of the methodological products. Okay, so this topic is actually cut across different disciplines, topics on dermatological ingredients, contents, and so on. Basically, you know that when we talk about dermatology, it's within the field of science, right? So maybe dermatologists, but then as I mentioned just now, we cut across different fields because some researchers are looking at the psychological effects of beauty and the representation of beauty and how products can help to extend their images. Okay, and then if we were to bring it from the communication perspective, there are ample of areas for us to explore. So one of them is through social media representations about beauty. Okay, so when we talk about social media, there are so many social media platforms that inform and educate women out there about skincare routines, dermatological products. Okay, and basically, what I'm interested in is social media algorithm. Social media algorithm is whenever you go to any social media platforms, if you keep choosing the same thing, then you will be getting more and more suggestions, recommendations. They use AI to be able to read what are your preferences and so on. So you'll be getting all this information back to you, you know, terrains and, you know, ongoing information coming bombarding your social media platforms. And my research is to look into how the social media algorithm help women to be much better informed, to be more literate about dermatological content and ingredients to suit them. So since this is very open, so I let them to talk about different things and, you know, like a clean slate. Yeah, I would like to see where are they navigating the discourses too. So next one. So for the study, I conducted 2 focus group interviews with how many women? 14 young women, aged 22 to 30 years old. Some of them are studying, some of them are now working, yeah, in their 30s. And actually 14, not 12. Yeah, I counted again. Yeah? All right, aged 22 to 30 years old. Okay, so the interview sessions lasted for each session for 1.5 hours. 1.5 hour session online. All right, next. Alright, so there are a number of findings. So I would like to skip on things, but I'm going to focus on salient tips that I extracted from the discourses. Yeah. So basically, some of the women, when we talk about skincare, okay, they shared their skincare. Okay, so you can see here, this a lot to you, right? For men, I'm not sure how many you use, only this perhaps. Only the soap that you use to wash your body, yeah. You use that to wash your face. But women, we are very particular. Nowadays, in the social media, they have so arrays of steps. If you follow the Korean 10 steps, then you have to like arrange them. Okay, so this is for the morning routine. This is for the night routine. So when I did the interviews, I realized that most of them have routine. Skincare routine. Some of them say so advanced. I would have like 2 cycles in a week. Right, every 3 days I will begin with exfoliator, right, exfoliating my skin, and with retinol. Okay, and then I will repeat the cycle again. So it's quite, they know what to do. So when I asked them, where did you get this information from? They did not say that they got them from social media. Oh, they did not say. So something that I learned is that they actually got it from the social media, but later they verified with significant others. Okay, and those people that they referred to actually referred to social media. Okay, so it's indirect. If I were to bring these variables into a quantitative study, I have to have mediating variables. It's not direct. Social media algorithm would not directly translate that into dermatological intention and behavior.
Two-step flow.
Yeah, two-step flow. Two-step flow, but then maybe more have to be extended. Have to be extended because the significant others, subjective norms, play a very significant role in helping the women to make decision whether or not to use certain skincare products. Okay, so on the social media end, for example, social media algorithm expose them to many influencers. Okay, and these influencers may be people, influencers in their own country. Some of my respondents, they were from Indonesia, right? And these influencers could be authentic influencers. They are actually dermatologists, doctors, for example, Dr. Richard and so on. Okay, so they say that they believe medical doctors or dermatologists more than just celebrities. Very rarely they mention about celebrities. They mention about authentic sources of information because they they want to make sure what they put on their skin is the best and is the harmless, harmless ingredients. So they refer to medical doctor, and they have circle of significant others who may be their parents, their mothers, especially not their father lah. They have never mentioned my father. Their mother and their mother's skin doctor. Imagine, mother's skin doctor, as well as their sisters and their friends. Okay, so I would say that a combination of different sources of information have informed them about what dermatological products to use. Okay, I also would like to know about their dermatological literacy. Okay, so I asked them what sort of ingredients that you look for when you want to buy dermatological products, skincare products. They mentioned a few, as if they know, about the chemicals and the acids. For example, first I would have to exfoliate my skin with AHA, alright, alpha hydroxy acid. Okay, and then maybe BHA, okay, beta hydroxy acid, which is actually salicylic acid. Some of them can identify that is salicylic acid. And some also the popular ones would be niacinamide. Niacinamide, the function is to brighten up your skin. What else? And also for fine wrinkles, to make it lighten up. And of course, another one that they often use is retinol. Okay, retinol, for information, is actually advised for those who are 40 years and above. Like me. Like me and you, Aida. 40 years and above. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Betul. But I'm quite surprised. These young people, young ladies, 20 to 30 years old, already started to use retinol.
Active.
Yeah.
Is it good or not good?
Yeah, it's not good. Okay. So you can use Shafizan, you can. Okay. So because it's actually to help to reverse aging. Magic,
Yeah.
Reverse and what we call aging reversal products. Okay, anti-aging. And I said, why are you using retinol? And then they were also mentioning about fine wrinkles. They are worried about fine wrinkles. They are in their 20s.
Very vain,
Kan? Alright. So it's just that, subconscious. Actually, they did not realize that. But then when I asked about the range of products that they use, they included retinol. And sometimes they also mention something that should not be mixed together, such as vitamin C. I'm not a dermatologist, Vitamin C and retinol should not be combined together. But they mentioned, one of them mentioned that they combine together.
But you can wear that,
They overdo it. They want like to be lightened up and also no wrinkles.
Why is it insecurity, I think? Is it looking at celebrities who Gigi Hadid who have...
It's more about their personal confidence. It's about they're bringing themselves to the class. It's just like they feel happy that they are able, pushing maybe the confidence. Something that I would have to go into deeper lah.
The reason why.
The reason why. But they see this type of projection around them, among their friends. Alright, they said that someone that I aspired by, this friend of mine, she has glass skin.
So I want 20s like 20 years ago.
Yeah, glass skin. And they asked, what did you use, kan? Because you have such glass skin. This glass skin image is very much Korean promoted and Korean influenced aura. So they want glass skin, and then they see people around them have glass skin. They would ask, hey, what did you do? What did you put on your face? And they said retinol. So they started to use retinol. Right? So I said the effect from social media algorithm may be subsided, alright, by the people around you, the testimony of people that you see around you, real people.
The peer pressure as well.
Yeah, peer pressure. And also, when they mentioned that they followed certain influencer, but this influencer have had skin condition that they are suffering from. You understand? Meaning that similar. So this is what I mentioned about homophilic influencer. Homophilic influencer, meaning that they don't want somebody who is born like Barbie or something like that, they're beautiful, but they want somebody who have had some ethnic problem like that.
Real
study. So this person, so this person showed before very bad. Look different afterwards, you know, like very big pimples. Ni bukan pimples yang kecil-kecilnya, yang like with abscess, you know, something like kan, you know, like red and so on. So they showed the transformation of that person after using the products that she recommended. So because of that testimony and of the authenticity and the believability of the source, they tend to follow, you know, whatever recommended by that person, and reliable. I think one of them mentioned is Maisara Mahmud. Kan, Maisara Mahmud. And IIUM, from IIUM. Alumni. So I saw her skin memang transform lah. You better check out lah Maisara Mahmud. Yeah, check out Maisara Mahmud.
She's 20 years old kan?
20 years old. 28 this year.
Cannot lock.
She just gave birth.
She just gave birth.
Yeah,
but she appeared to be like an ordinary person that so you can identify with.
We can boleh jadi macam dia lah.
Yeah, so like if I can do it, you can do it. Some people feel very embarrassed to go out in the public because of the breakups, the people that they have. You know, it's something that you don't understand, kan, man, kan? Something that women always, you know, concerned about, yeah?
Future wives.
Yes, future wives.
Future wives and children, daughters.
So, you're early. You married early, kan? Your wife, your wife. I will introduce this to her. Okay? So basically on the skincare regimen, another thing that I discovered that they have a very specific regimen that they follow based on their skin condition. Those with acne, they would not go for something oily. They go for watery based products, and all of them would make sure that they wear sunscreen. Wajib. Yeah, very compulsory for them to put on their sunscreen even at home. So you can see that this young generation, they are very particular. But I also have someone in the focus group who is not very concerned about what she put on the, you know, on her skin. She said that she had been using bedak sejuk for many years.
Is her skin okay?
Skin okay.
That's why she's got not worried.
Not worried. Yeah, skin okay. Yeah, still look young. Okay, so you can get the recommendation of that bedak sejuk from Pekan Rabu.
Or interview her again when she's 40.
Yeah. Interview her again after 40. So this bedak sejuk with gamat. Okay, so traditional. But most of them, out of all, only like one person who is not so into skincare. You know, one of them is like quite an outlier because she said that she doesn't even wash her hair for the last 3 months.
Okay, 3 months.
Yeah. Last 3 months. And tu outlier betul. Qualitative. Maybe I can do a study on just her. Okay. And then she did not put anything on her skin because she's very concerned about the chemicals. The chemicals, and she would only go for the organic products. Okay, organic products. But then she said that recently she started to buy niacinamide. I said, what influenced you? Because of the things that she saw on the internet. So she started to buy, but she just kept that thing. She's like quite skeptical. Alright. So when we talk about social media algorithm, they are quite skeptical about what social media algorithm gave them, because mostly they are marketing elements, especially brands. Sponsored. They were like pushing that these brands are good and so on. So they don't like that kind of social media algorithm. So that's why they verify with a real person that they know. So
they are like somewhat literate lah, digitally literate.
Quite digitally literate. Another thing is on impulse buying. Okay, impulse buying. Whenever there is sale, and this particular person, she is into Korean, K-pops and so on. Okay, so she said that whenever there is this brand endorsed by this particular idol, she would buy them. Okay, even though she's not going to use it. But you know what? She bought them and then keep them, and after some time she will sell it again for profit. Like dia punya apa tu dia kata limited edition. Okay. And then I sense also that they bought something because it's on sale or it's been endorsed by the person that they followed, okay, for example, celebrity, but then it will just lie there on the, in their closet. You often bought something like that, right? Just keep it. And after some time, they said, what about you're wasting your money, kan, on all of these products? And they said, no, because I'm going to give it as birthday gifts to my friends or my sisters, or I will sell it for less price.
Expired lah.
Itulah, before they expired,
It expired.
yeah, they will sell it. They will sell it again, and then they also bought from friends who did that. For example, who did the same thing. I don't understand, kan? These young women. So I also sense that they hop. They hop from one skincare to another skincare, without giving enough downtime for that skincare products to work its magic. Yeah. So because they move from one to one, they are still searching lah. They are actively searching out. So I think women at that age, they are still active lah, active in finding out what's the best for them, and exploring and experimenting. But I'm not sure. Maybe if I were to interview those who are 40s and above, maybe they are more settled. Maybe they are more
Brand loyal.
Yeah, can be bothered. But because my informants happen to be young, they may still be very concerned, and they are not yet married. They're still very concerned about how they look, their projection, and their image. So these are some of the findings, the preliminary findings that I'm able to extract from the discourses that I have. So that's about it for today. And if you care to
try. These are your products, actually. Can you please count, Imran? Can you count how many products you were responding?
Yeah, betul.
Married and also
next time I will try to get married and also
with kids as well.
With kids as well. Yeah, maybe kids you don't have much time. Basuh sabun. Shower gel.
Perhaps teenagers also get so concerned about it.
Teenagers are actually concerned if we can have different groups. But but for women like us, like macam 50s and for 50s nobody here kan, me lah 50s kan. And also if you are reaching towards the end of 40s, you would be concerned about wrinkles and also about age spots, right? But even the young, they were concerned about age spots. So they are more literate.
Concerned a bit. Yeah. But I mean, I realize I have 2 daughters and they have a lot of this. Ya Allah.
Ada dia satu je apa?
Boleh masuk buat. I never really asked them. I never really asked them why. I should.
Yeah, you should ask them. Kan? Why? Because they need to have the serum, they need to have the ampule. And then at night you put 5-6 different things on your skin, including face mask.
I think we need a different session for this.
This is promoting.
This is promoting this.
Thank you very much. We have it's an interesting presentation. We may want to continue with the session later. Can do another session later, special session. Now I would like to invite Brother Samri Imran.
Yes. I believe your products. I might use them then.
You have to pay,
Props. Yes.
The props. Faisal's not here.
Yeah, Faisal is not here, and this study was done in 2012. The impact of 4 P's of marketing on students' purchasing decisions, and my previous speakers, Dr. Aida and Dr. Baidun, I've talked about marketing and products. And these are some of the core marketing tools. Okay. Next. So we look at something like 4 P's, and for every business, for every organization, for every company, they are looking at how they are gaining more customers, more consumers, and how they can form long-term and short-term strategies of how they can do business. So in order to do this, they look at the 4 P's. Other studies, they mention 7, but for purposes of this particular study, we shall look at product, the promotion, the place, as well as product, price, and promotion. So, in terms of how these products work, they realize in terms of, for example, the American Marketing Association as of 2013, they look at marketing as an activity where a set of institutions or organizations try to create and communicate directly to their customers in terms of exchanging and delivering everything that is needed in terms of their clients and the major whole base in terms of their target. Next. So the objective of this study was to look at the level of how the 4 Ps resonate with students, for example, in universities, and the next is to examine the relationship, how these 4 Ps are majorly deciding, a major factor in deciding how students buy from mini markets, especially those that stay in campus. Before I got the literature, there is a problem statement of why do I study this. We studied this because of the fact that, like I said in the introduction, is so many people, so many organizations, even this university, they have their own company, holding, and they're looking at how to get more clients on board. And to do this, you need to have a standard, distinct, and long-term strategy of how you're going to get desired goals. It could be financial, it could be in terms of legacy. So you look at universities, the shaping of how it has been done. This marketing has not been centered in how the students have, in terms of universities and where they buy these products, especially within the confinement of students. So there is lack, or there is still a gap to shape this literature and studies. So this is why we studied this, in terms of seeing how the 4 Ps of marketing determine or impact the students' decision in terms of their purchasing power. So in terms of literature now, going into promotion as one of the pillars of marketing tools, is that how do you differentiate the promotion and the purchase decisions in terms of the general idea of people or consumers, and then how do you look at the decision making, because students or people are looking at how they will look into whether there are sales that will determine is there a discount. So in terms of promotion, they look at if something is promoted more or it is on a discount or on sales, that means it will influence significantly in terms of their buying. For example, these products could be on a sale, so it means someone will buy just because it's on sale and put there. So that is it. Next is the place and purchase decision. We look at the target consumers in terms of their place. Some, for example, some of these are branded, and others are priced in a different way. So the place where you buy, they have a target audience, target price. So it means that when you buy from KLCC, the price of the product would be high just because of the place. So that also determines. So when you look at students here, the prices of many products are subsidized due to student prices and student culture. So the university influences all the mini markets in the university to make sure they have reduced prices because of the university. But if you go outside, then the product will be a bit more, and then the product itself. Each product has, like Dr. Nurbaidullah said, each product has its own target. So it defines what is used in terms of, you need to recognize the problem and how successful or how it will influence. When there is no a problem, you not have a product. So whenever there is maybe aging, so we look at maybe the young ones, instead of using it at 40, they are looking at, oh, let me prevent before. So they not look at in terms of how it will affect them later, but how it will influence or what it does. So that defines the product itself. Then we look at the general idea of how students get their influence or purchase decisions. So when we look at this, we don't look at the 7 Ps, but we look at the 4 Ps. It should be understood that there are 7, including without place, price, and product, as well as promotion. There is packaging, process, and the people themselves. So that makes it 7. So all these influences the purchasing power or decision in terms of marketing, in terms of the pricing, the place, and this includes the product itself, the buyers who are consuming, and the process they go through before determining. If someone doesn't have a problem with the product or they don't need water, they'll not be buying water. So this also influences their decision making. Next. So when you look at how this study is shaped, we look at the theoretical framework, and we look at theory of plant behavior. Which was proposed by Isaac Azen in 1985. There was another theory which is called the theory of planned action. It influences how people look at their decisions in terms of attitude and behavior, and this influences their way of thinking, of buying and looking at a product, and this resonates in terms of their inspiration, what they expect from a product, what they expect from a place, and in terms of their conviction that this product will be good. And so that is why we use the theory of planned behavior, and it resonates with the attitude, behavior, and the way people look at their products and if it can do anything to them. Next. So the research design, quantitative, because we need to look at a bigger number of students in terms of how they look at their products, and the location was Gomba campus, and we had around 146 respondents, and the sampling, we used quota sampling where we looked at both international and local, as well as undergraduate and postgraduate.
How many respondents?
146. Yes. So in terms of results, we could see that there was a correlation in some of the 4 Ps, and there was not in a few. So there is a significance in the sorry. Yeah, you can see from the purchase decisions of the product, price, and promotion that there is significance in the place because of the university, and then there is insignificance in terms of promotion. So when there are no promotions, the minimats are not providing promotions, so they don't resonate. And that's why below in table 10, you will see that hypothesis 1 is rejected, which says that there's a positive relationship between the product and the student's purchase decision. And then when you see at hypothesis 2, there is a positive relationship between the price and students' purchase. That means that the prices are beat down just because the minimats in the university have subsidized prices. But when you look at the hypothesis 3, which is the positive relationship between promotion and students, that means the students expect the prices to be lower, which is not the case. So the hypothesis ends up being rejected. However, you look at positive relations between the place and the students' purchase decisions. They will look at the place, the convenience. They will not need to go out and go KLCC to buy a product because it will be in some of these minimats in the university. So that is it. Next. In terms of conclusion, we look at, before that there was suggestion, ideal model for promoting, how we could have looked at this in terms of the theoretical framework. But I could say that over the course, we targeted more students, but only 146 students from different age groups and education background, that is masters, postgraduate, and undergraduate, and that is international and Malaysians. And overall, the 4 Ps of marketing were deciding factors in their percentage decision, which is positive and significant for place and promotion. However, the other 2 were not significant. So when you look at product quality in the Minimax, is satisfying. However, the prices are sometimes reduced and appropriate. Promotion was high in regard to the best of regulation with the discounts of the places where markets are located. That is in the vicinity of the university, in terms of mahallas and within the university here, located near the mosque and administration. Then the theory of planned behavior assessed and confirmed that the intention of and the factors that make sure students have their decisions in terms of purchase. It persuades them, and because of the idea and what they need. and their attitude towards certain products. Thus, the consumers who are the students, their intention in terms of buying and behavior, coupled with the marketing tools, which is 4Ps, resonate with how they buy. And this study shows that there is room for students to get their marketing, or in terms of purchase decisions, in terms of the 4Ps. If the price and promotion or place is convenient for them, that means the students will always feel that convenience, and that will influence mostly their purchase decisions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I have a question. So the 4Ps are placed as the independent variables,
Yes,
or
yes.
independent variables?
Yes.
The
Then the
mediating,
students-
the mediating,
No
no mediating.
Yes.
So TPB has intention.
Yes.
You did not
No.
use the intention.
No, we didn't use the intention. We
In
look
the
at the
original
behavior,
TPB,
yes.
there's a mediating variable which is
Yes.
intention.
Yes.
That makes it TPB.
Yes.
So the intention is missing.
That's why we wanted to use the ideal model instead of this. But in terms of looking at the behavior and attitude, so we focus on
Attitude, you did not use measure attitude.
No.
Yes. That's another variable under TPB, attitude.
Yes.
Attitude.
Yes.
And maybe subjective norms.
Yeah, subjective norms as well. Yes.
You did not mention. You mentioned
We
that.
we looked at the levels,
The levels.
the level in terms of 4Ps, and then we look at we use the.
Where's the level, the results?
No.
Oh, the results are not because
It's on the relationship.
yes,
You answered the first question.
yes, what we call in the one I sent, there is another the one I sent to the organizing committee.
So in order for you to improve this study, because it is not a complete ecosystem of TPB.
Yes.
So you need to make sure that the original TPB elements are
Are all
there in
inclusive,
order to
subjective.
claim that it is TPB.
The variables.
The variables, the original variables.
You use the theory here.
Thumb.
Is it a bit different than because that's what
Actually, that was one of the challenges when you look.
Technology, the thumb kan normally has a technology associated model.
It's not.
So you have, maybe you can have like something online kind of thing in which they purchase, and then what you can place the 4Ps, but it will be an added on variable. But don't forget the original one.
Yes,
You cannot leave the original one.
Yes.
You can modify lah with this. You can modify later on for subsequent study.
So you may somehow consider the suggestions, yeah? Any
The
other
other
questions
thing,
or
yeah,
suggestions?
sales promotion, is it?
Yes.
Sales promotion,
Yes.
discounts, right? Not
Yes.
like motion as in the communication.
Itulah I
No,
thought
no.
promotion
Right.
tu.
I would think it's a
discount.
communication aspect, I didn't realize it's the discounts. The discounts, right?
Yes, the
Promotion,
discounts.
the sales promotion.
Yes. No, in terms of discounts.
In terms of
That's
the
yes.
promotion is in
Yes.
terms of discounts,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes, yes.
So only one tool, you're looking at one marketing tool.
Yes.
You need to say is sales promotion.
Yes.
Okay.
How about brand?
Brand.
Brand of the product.
That goes to the product. Is
Product.
under product, yes.
But you are not particular. You
We couldn't exhaust, like I said, they could be the
what kind of
process.
product? I mean, not brand lah. What product yang you are looking at? Is it like
Arabic.
No. We look at what is needed.
Yeah.
They look at the products that are needed by students, pens, books, or these scholastic materials.
Stationery.
In terms of products,
For
yes.
example,
Are they needed by students, or are they in the minimums? So you look at the product in that kind, in the minimums. So the study was in
in the
minimums.
minimums?
Yes, those ones
Kedai
here,
tulis in the minimums.
Mahalla.
yes.
Yes. So the product is in terms of if I want to get water, is it there?
Dekat conversion.
If the scholastic materials, or in terms of
I
the
rasa mungkin
products that
TPB
are
is
needed.
not the
Yes,
the most
yes.
appropriate one. Maybe
Yes.
ELB,
Yes.
elaboration likelihood model.
Which one?
Elaboration likelihood model.
That one looks at
Persuasiveness.
of content.
High involvement of buying something and low
and
involvement.
decision making
And
without
this-
processing of message.
Yes.
Because when you
Elaboration
look at
likelihood
decision,
model. Yes.
decision,
I mean,
what is it based on?
When you want to buy something, do you like impulse buying or not? For example, if I want to buy a pen, I don't really care because it's just like RM1. But if I want to buy something more expensive, I would have to have high involvement before making purchasing decision.
And you take a look at
It's like
whether
for-
it's central.
That's why when you go to the results, Doctor,
Yeah.
results.
Or
They only 2 were supported and then the 2 were rejected. So this also goes back to how the theory is. And
How to base it on the price and
yes,
so on.
usually most of them are significant, but in this study, not all of them were significant. So that shows that maybe we should have choose some. There was some outliers somewhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Right, so thank you very much to all the presenters, all the 4 presenters. So with that, we conclude this session. Yeah. Thank you very much. We will have lunch upstairs.
Habis.
So we continue with the
Don't
next
get
session.
to-
No sample for you. No sample for you.
2 PM ya.
So we have lunch first.
After lunch first, come back here.
Here or instructional.
Two sessions. One atap hari, one
Ah.
here.
You can check the
So
Okay,
we
so much
we
is
come back here.
It depends on which you want to follow.
It's up to you which one you want to go.
You look at the topics, which presentation you want to do.
Yeah, don't leave here. Join.
Please come and join us. Yeah,
For lunch.
so better we will
Lunch.
Lunch provided.
Lunch provided pedas-pedas.
Tak nak pedas.
Anak pedas.
lunch and tea,
You
but
can take the vegetable.
yeah, you become vegetarian.
Yes.
Remote.
Doktor,
Kat sini hilang.
Angkat pula. Mahal tu satu bag tu.
Go back to
Yeah, I think I won't be able to come because saya involved dalam kolokvium. Lepas tu doktor, I terkantang pasal I was sick.
Dia tak ambil Corena, macam mana boleh dia ambil RP kan? Kenapa nak jadi yang itu kan?
Ada student.
Dah bagi tahu dia dah. Kiranya tak ada seorang je lagi masuknya seorang je lagi.
Ke? She can take it semua concurrently.
Dia memang tengah nak ambil.
Dia ambil concurrently.
Boleh.
Cuma I expect her to charge lah sikit.
Tak apa. Sebab dia dah ambil RMI.
Okay lah.
Dia dah ambil RMI.
So,
Oh, you happy pergi singgah studio orang. Geography tu dah look different.
Masa sekolah tu macam mana? Jom join kan?
Iyalah.
Kak Anu ambil kali tak makan.
Itu, makan dia belum makan kan? Datang lagi kan kat sini? Datang lagi.
kita boleh tinggal barang ke?
Boleh. Tapi tak ada
Saya tak tahu dah nak tinggal barang.
Siapa nak kunci?
Ni laptop.
Jangan menangis sekali hilang barang
Itulah pasal.
Jom makan jom.
Tapi siapa
Kita beli tangan sama kan? 2.5, 2.
Almost.
Dah baca apa
Rasa
lagi?
doktor, I have one more.
Ya.
Ni nak bagi tahu doktor.
Boleh. Apa lagi?
Saya akan involve dalam ASEAN program dekat Brunei. For 2 days.
Jom. Tak, you kena buat juga kerja you.
Yalah, memang.
Konsep dia online. Sebab dia tak boleh kat sini.
Ambil.
Jadi I begini kalau duduk Brunei, saya adalah macam online dia. So, kalau tak duduk
Saya nak tengok jadual.
progress datang kan. Konsep kalau ada soalan.
Why because it explain me why
Yang apa ni
number. So I asked to take what is short to me. I go to back to my mom to see what is this confirmation and explore. But now yeah, I do. Still just the confirmations.
Can you send me what you've done so that I can
Yeah.
look at it as well and then I can
I will send it to you.
done. I'm sure this year as well. So I'm
Oh, yes.
discuss with him if I can make it better. You know what I mean? Because he told me he wanted to go back. So that's why I didn't contact him.
Yeah.
Bangladesh.
We go to Bangladesh. I come to before I go to Indonesia. I come to here. So he's explaining me just to know and how to what is the P value is accepting. Finish or we go back?
Request. I don't know. So the office stop 10. Start pukul 8 ya. Lain
Oh, she's your supervisor. No wonder you're happy. Because
What's your plan?
Yeah, really done.
I only taught you online. So
Yeah.
no, this is my first time seeing
Yes,
you in
yeah.
person.
Yeah.
Because online I thought I saw you big. Now it's so thin.
The room of Mahalla.
What's your plan after your master's?
PhD inshallah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
inshallah.
mean,
Just I'm waiting the process for graduation.
good. You good student, inshallah.
The CBS order the certificate of graduation.
So you can make it this November?
Yeah, inshallah.
Oh, alhamdulillah.
Next tomorrow I think the meeting for our colleague.
PGC. Okay, oh that's good, alhamdulillah.
The sister she said inshallah after 3 days I can.
That's good.
The CPF, is it?
Yeah. Inshallah.
So you did that agenda setting
Yeah.
topic? Oh, okay, very
Because
good.
We discussed it many times.
That's smart, you know, because all the courses you use the same one.
Yeah.
That's very smart. Very good. So are you going to go straight PhD or take some time?
Straight.
Yeah, don't take time.
Still both.
Yeah. Still got the what? Well, you still have the energy and the interest.
And the topic is still the same.
So you want to pursue the same thing but expand.
Exactly.
Okay, very good. Yeah.
For growth
Mm-hmm.
and could be by international, by local, and also by the period of war and the period of normal.
There's a comparison, yes,
Exactly.
because
Then you can be an expert in that.
Exactly. How the media covered the women and the children during the normal days and during the war.
That's good.
Yes. And between the local
and the international.
and the
See, you already have a topic.
yeah, alhamdulillah. The proposal is done. Alhamdulillah.
Where are the participants?
I need to call this Dr. Baiduri. Kat atas tadi ya, dia orang dah start dah.
Atas Hilmi Oh, the same presenter as in the morning. Only the moderator is different.
Yeah, is it?
Students are sending 2-3 papers.
Yes. And Dr. Baiduri's papers like actually small students, but which is good lah. Students can are doing things.
In my thesis, this is the second.
Last year you present the proposal, now you present your data. Yeah.
So I'm preparing for published paper.
Publish, since you have it. You're about to publish or you have published already?
No, inshallah, now
Try
I'm
to
preparing
publish.
the.
Sampai lagi. Yang students punya briefing tu dia buat kat mana? Is it dekat LT dekat semalam?
Pas malam macam ni.
Amanina ni salah tempat.
Tak nampak bayang.
Dan apa tu dia kena duduk dekat atas masa ni.
Dr. Baiduri kat atas?
Rasanya lah.
Dia buat apa kat atas?
Takut dia
Dia confused.
confused.
Dia tak ada paper dia kat atas.
Tak ada.
Zika will be presenting.
Tu atas tu dia yang present ni Zat, dia dengan Dr. Azam punya paper.
Here it's her and Dr. Azam.
Call dia je. I think dia memang tak siap lagi lah. Hello? Sebab tadi at 1:45 dia kat sana lagi. Tengah solat ke apa.
Ini kan up tutup cloud country ni.
Habis Amanina ni mana?
Kan?
Is Dr. Baiduri's turn? She's not here yet.
Because I wanted to perform my prayer. Tadi dah wudu.
Oh, dah sembahyang ke belum?
Belum.
Ya Allah.
I panggil dia datang.
Itulah sebab tadi dah wudu.
Ya Allah.
Habis tak solat. Aku nak solat
Dah,
first.
solat dah habis dah. Saya pergi solat.
Okay.
Sekejap.
Mana ni? Ya, I seru orang yang tak solat pun tak datang.
Sekejap
Kalau itu, I boleh sempat bagi briefing dekat budak tu kejap. Sebab IPRM
Oh, ada event
tak
tak
ada,
ni?
dia orang tak ada representative.
Oh,
Semuanya
kelas
sakit.
pula sekarang.
So I kata tak apalah, I will give the briefing, short je. Dia kata tak kelas dah moderating. Dia orang start pukul 2.
Alah.
10 minit dah habis dah.
Student dah start.
I minta si Maghrib tolong. Semua Maghrib.
Betul. Tadi I dengar Kak Zarita dengan Helmi radio ke TV. Maghrib.
Kita tak I didn't see dia punya shoes.
Ya ke? Habis dah.
Dia tak pakai shoes. Pakai shoes yang perempuan tu.
Ya.
Yang dalam kata indoor punya shoes.
Oh, yang bulu-bulu tu.
Kata kau dah kenapa ni?
Just now you said you're married?
Yeah.
Oh, you have children already?
With 10 children, right? 10 children. How many?
It's hard now, tension.
How many
I
children
have
you
two,
have?
alhamdulillah.
How old are
I
they?
have Alma
Huh?
and Tahir.
Alma and Tahir. One girl, one boy.
Yes.
Ah,
How old are they?
nice.
Yeah.
How old are they?
Alma is around 7 years, Tahir 4 years.
MashaAllah. They're grown up.
But they are here, not here?
Yeah,
They're
they
here.
recently around 6 months.
Ah, that's good.
Okay, so you can do your PhD
With peace.
peacefully. Not so peaceful,
No,
but
mentally
mentally
lah.
you don't have to think about them.
When I was alone, it's different.
Yeah.
Mahalla focus and studying. Now,
Yeah.
subhanallah, it's a school to send them
Yeah.
to bring them.
Yeah, so all domestic issues you have to count in.
But that is part of PhD lah.
Yeah.
Your wife is working?
No, but
She
she
doesn't plan
already
to work.
graduated as English teacher.
Oh.
Now she does like online freelance,
Ah.
some writing.
She's teaching tuition.
Yeah.
Ah, that's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
I say to her, you can continue the master there. She said, no, I
No, not at
Too
the same
tired
time.
maybe.
yeah.
Not at the same time. Not advisable.
Yeah.
The children.
Children need care.
Where do you stay?
In Sitapak.
Setapa.
Setapak. Okay, not so far lah.
There it's close from you.
Yeah.
Like so.
Convenient.
Yeah. Alhamdulillah.
So Dr. Yahya soon. Ini Dr. Baiduri ni mana? I call already, dia tak answer.
Kita influence everybody.
So tak call.
She called me at 7. Yeah.
Oh, waiting for the slides. Because I asked her for the slide. What's your slide?
Because it's here.
Because
Tak,
yesterday,
tadi tu pagi tadi.
Oh, okay.
I was yesterday in Putrajaya for the visa and immigration, so I was late. I said, okay, inshallah, just at night I need to do finalization for
Mana nak start dah pukul 2:30. Prof cakap tadi dia datang tak closing?
Dia kata macam datang.
Datang tu lah. Kau lambat run kau.
Dah sikit, makin sikit. Itulah. Makin tak ada orang pula dah. Ya Allah.
Oh, start you cakap dengan I cakap dengan you.
Okay. Now you listen to me. I listen to you. Done. Okay. That's the end.
So could I ask, that code we can use it for printing that you said?
Yeah, you can.
No, I mean new because the new name of Korea about Sulaimani.
Oh, better
that is
ask
the
dia.
name of the degree.
MHSC.
Yeah. That's still the same. Only the name of the kuliah is different.
Okay. I could
So how many copies they ask you to produce?
3.
Only 3
Yeah, 1 to department, 1 supervisor, 1 for me.
for you.
Oh, universiti tak simpan eh?
Now a soft copy.
Oh, okay.
So terus masuk repository.
Oh, okay. You tak jumpa Dr. Baiduri kat mana-mana.
Saya tak nampak pun.
Aduh ilahan.
Tak ada call.
Dah call tak jawab.
Tak jawab.
Message pun dah stop dia dah.
Ya, power nap.
Jangan dia net tak sedar. Rasa dia baru naik solat tadi tu.
Budak biji, YouTube tak start lagi belum?
Tapi dah live dah.
So apa yang live kita tu bersimbang ni?
You lah.
Saya dah buka dia tapi tak nampak kamera.
Oh okay. Ada music lah.
Ada dah suara-suara.
Tadi channel nak tengok, boleh tengok balik ke yang yang YouTube tu?
Boleh.
Nak tengok balik kan? Nak tengok apa yang produk yang Kak Anu jual.
Tapi yang Kak Nur boleh tak nampak sebab dia dekat sini.
Oh, dia tak angkat.
Oh, yang tadi tak
Dia
ada.
memang good seller lah.
Serius dia bawa
Padahal
produk.
dia obviously dia belum buat apa-apa lagi dia punya research kan. So dia cakap pasal produk tu lah. Serius. You cannot combine this product and this product. Dengan si Imran, si Yahya, si siapa lagi pula. Semua dengar.
Semua mention chemical punya
yang
ingredients.
sebenarnya pasal apa? Communicating.
Dia kata social media, how whether social media ni influence lah, especially young people to buy the product.
Ini lagi influential.
Dia interview 14 ke 12 young ladies lah. Tu lah dia. Tapi dia punya cerita tu jadi panjang.
Tak boleh, dia kita kena boleh lah tanya.
Aduh, mana ni? Where is your supervisor, Yahya?
like yesterday ke 2 days ago, she called me early in the morning kan. Dia said, where are you? I said, I'm still in the car. Oh, ya ke? Okay, never mind. I thought she wanted to stay in my room. But I asked her what happened. Actually, I had an appointment with my student this morning. Dia kata, she set the appointment quite early lah. I think 8:30. And then she forgot her room key. Like, okay. And then she had nowhere to go. Department is closed.
Oh, patutlah.
I asked to go down. I kata for sure radio is not open lah, so you can go there.
Kau tak start lagi? Start lah. Kalau start dia cakap dengan I cakap dengan dia.
Okay. So sedih to start.
Dah start dah? Belum.
Aku pergi sembahyang, saya lambat tadi. Okay lah, tak ada start to show that your lateness has implication. Jahat. Kalau di jalan je lah aku duduk sana. Panas, aku dia panas.
Oh, dia kipas.
Dia nanya. See, we only have one spectator. Tak apa. Yang biasa di sini tak apa. Boleh. Boleh lah. Oh, jaga tu slide. Oh, ya betul, boleh. Aku moderator.
Dia moderator.
Kita je.
Okay, you learn. Kita je.
Kita means among us. Among us. Satu je jahat.
Between us.
Nak ambil group photo.
Prof.
Dia datang. Habis datang.
Come, Prof. Kena buka kasut.
Dah cuci.
So ada 2 orang.
Okay, Prof. So, look at the...
Kat kasut. Okay, so we are good to start.
Yes. We waited for Prof.
You, Prof. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back to session 3B. This is our 3rd parallel session. I will be moderating the session for this afternoon. There will be 4 presenters, including myself. And each presenter will be given 12 minutes to present, not more than that. And then we will proceed with Q&A. Yeah? So without further delay, I will start based on the sequence. It will be my paper first. Okay. Alright. Okay, this is a very simple paper about cybercrime in social media, exploring social media users' response and preparedness. I will present the paper, and together with me is Sister Asmawati Asas, a PhD student at the department. So we end up having this topic because it happened during the Maulidul Rasul. At that time, my WhatsApp account was very noisy. People were talking about or sending messages about being scammed among my friends. Yeah. So friend tu Saudah. Friend tu aka Saudah. It's online. We are on YouTube. Yes, this is. Okay, so this what happened. As you can see that these are evidence. This is the real thing what happened behind the scene.
Yeah.
So I'm like thinking, are we really prepared when we are being attacked by scammers? Do we know exactly what we're supposed to do? So what happened was they was sending messages, and then eventually one person said exit and delete the account. I think you know who you are. I just blur the name. Okay, please press to exit group, then press again to delete group. If you don't do this, you're gonna be there. Alright, so as if people are panicked, they don't know what to do. Yeah. So that prompted us to come up with this research, and we developed 3 simple research questions, which is how do social media users respond to cybercrime in social media, and number 2, to what extent are social media users prepared to deal with cybercrime incident on social media platforms, and how do social media users obtain information about cybercrime. So very simple question, research question. Okay, and then moving on.
If you can see, cybercrime has been very alarming and rampant nowadays. If you look at in the news, 50% increase in cybercrime in the past 2 years, with scammers rising adaptability and ability to exploit technological changes and trap victims with new tactic. That was in the Star last month. Okay, and then an average of 84 million daily cyber attack were recorded in Malaysia during the 4th quarter of last year. Okay, so Malaysia is one of the most vulnerable country. We can be easily attacked. Yeah, and this is also reported this year, last February. And 27 million losses were reported to the Scam Response Center, with a total of 3,482 genuine calls for January and February this year alone. Yeah. So that's again what drives us to research in this topic. So what is cybercrime? Actually, there is no clear, single and universally accepted definition of cybercrime. Why is this? Because if you look at the literature, they are using different terminology. Some are using cybercrime, some are using e-crime, some are using computer crime, so different terminology. Yeah? And I quoted these two definitions because according to a recent paper, a recent SLR paper, these were the two most cited definitions when it comes to cybercrime. Okay, one by Thomas and another one is by Jordan. Okay, so they mentioned that cybercrime is related to computer-mediated activity which are either illegal or considered illicit by certain party and which can be conducted through global electronic network. So the second definition is somewhat the same. So I move on to our methodology. So this is a qualitative research. We use semi-structured interview with active social media users. So that's the only criteria we put in selecting our respondent, and we use convenience sampling, yeah, and we able to get several respondents at the age of 20 up to 60 years old. So this is basically a preliminary finding because we are still interviewing next week, inshallah. So among the findings, when it comes to cybercrime through social media, cybercrime through social media have been increasingly common. Why is that? Because based on our observation, most respondents have either experienced being scammed or have at least received attempted scams. Yeah? And all respondents have friends or relatives that have experienced big scam. So it shows how rampant it is. Okay, another part is in terms of source of information related to cybercrime, how do respondents get information? Okay, the first one is through news. Yeah. When news reported about a scam incident or cybercrime incident, this is their main source of information. So most of them say they got the information from the news. Next is from friends. Yeah. And the third one is from others who share experience online. Yeah. So they always Google and try to ask more, especially those who are sharing experience on social media. And the third, and the other one is some even follow Facebook, Instagram, or public page that share experiences. Okay, but what we did not find is this: people are not proactively seeking information from authoritative sources. They don't go to MCMC, CyberSafe, cybersecurity. We do have all that agencies, but none talking about this. Okay, the other finding is user response to cybercrime attempts. So these are the common response. They ignore the call or text. They block the caller. They reported the incident either to WhatsApp or to the police, but reporting to the police appeared to be very common. Yeah, and they changed to a new number. Yeah, so basically, what we can interpret from here is it is mainly reactive instead of proactive, and very self-regulated, yeah, instead of trying to be more hygiene online. I will talk about that later. Okay, preventive measures. Yeah, self-regulation. They are more mindful of their actions. Yeah,
But what we did not find is a good cyber hygiene. A good cyber hygiene is like using a more complex password, be more careful in who are in the groups, because sometimes we simply join, we don't really know everybody, yeah, or even use any, detector to detect scammers. So they don't talk about that. Yeah, they talk something that is more, easy to use and what they know. So in terms of preparedness, majority not aware of the step to take if they are scammed. Yeah, they are not sure. Okay, and some even not aware that they have been scammed. And this happened to me as well. Okay. So as a conclusion, the preliminary findings indicate that social media users are unprepared to deal with cybercrime. They are uncertain of what step to be taken when they have been scammed. Yeah. And social media users rely on online information shared by others instead of authoritative website or social media platforms. So this is somewhat disturbing as well. So suggestion, government to provide clear, easy to understand messages on cybercrime, tactic used by scammers, what to do when being scammed. So these are really crucial for the public to know, and they should be able to get it easily from authoritative sources. And another suggestion is to do ongoing campaign to remind the public about cyber threats. So you're hoping that this finding will provide insight to respective authority on social media user behavior in responding to cybercrime and their preparedness in addressing cyber threats. So that is all. Thank you very much. Okay, these are our references. Thank you. So I did not exceed 12 minutes. Is there questions?
Just to ask, as you said just now, they don't go to the authority. Is it because they don't know who's the authority? And then secondly, just wondering lah, asking for your opinion. Is it okay just like, maybe it's easier for the public to, if cybercrimes go straight to the police? I mean, because for us, crime, police. Kan? And then police tu pandai-pandai lah dengan MC ke whatever. Can it be like that? The police becomes the front gate lah.
So that was actually the confusing part, because there are several entities being appointed, as if they are working together, like Bank Negara, the police, LHDN, MCMC. So actually we don't really know their function. When I asked the respondent, most of them mentioned MCMC. That's all. They didn't mention other thing. And they also mentioned that they will report to the police. Even though the police will not open the case, they just receive your case and then that's it. Yeah. And recently I just got the information sent by somebody about the National Scam Response Center. I'm not sure whether it's new or not, but in the information, it's in a form of video. The person mentioned that call 997 if you're being scammed. So when you call 997, it's to the National Scam Response Center, your account will be automatically blocked and the scammer account will be blocked too. So I think, to me, this is a new information which I didn't get, and the person who shared this is a police who happened to work in VDRM and with the cybercrime kind of thing. Yeah. But when I tried to join, he has an IG lah. When I tried to join his IG, the IG is private, it's not really open. Okay? So I had to request. Yeah. Unlike the public page, like one respondent mentioned, Awas Scam Malaysia. Awas Scam Malaysia is a Facebook account, but it's open to everybody. You don't have to request to get in, but people are sharing information in that particular Facebook. So other people are learning about new scam tactic from that particular Facebook.
So it's bottoms up lah. People yang collaborate to help each other.
Yeah. But to them, to find information from authoritative source is somewhat difficult, and sometimes it's not easy to understand. Yeah. So.
I don't know whether you could divide cybercrime to so many categories. like in case of Sabda is leaking. So we went into a account. So the time when your money has been siphoned. Cyberbullying, when somebody call and start bullying you lah. Especially among school children, that's cyberbullying. So maybe you identify this, then you're able to give a response center appropriately. If you're hacking me, okay, this
is what you do.
Cybercrime, this is the number. Bullying, maybe schools can do it, or I mean, I think people in authorities are involved
in doing the scam.
Nampak yang
they're using our data, kan?
Yeah.
Like Selangor hacked the other day. Because a lot of the Selangor automatically assigned to the insurance, government insurance scheme. So even though we did not approve, so that means they took our data and just use it.
Override. Tapi good kan, dapat insurance.
Yalah, but it means that our data is being used freely.
Itu dah lama.
By the government lah, to
the government must be open because you get these retirees, they get 1 million. So otherwise, if we can have a system where the bank blocks more than we'll call you up. So we are talking unless you personally authorize.
Betul lah, kan?
Then you can block. But now you throw away 100,000 pun, okay, or 1 million pun, there's nothing wrong with the authority.
Yeah, it's automatically blocked kan.
Last time,
even more than 5,000, it will be blocked or they will call you before they release the money.
I think the one, and then I think the police also, because the police have your record, you're on suspicious list, money laundering. So when they call these fellows, they are already guilty, They're guilty, but they know these fellows are involved in that thing. They're guilty. So they're willing to transfer the account to another account.
Maybe there could be a reason why they are not really into, educating people.
This I think they tell you, please report to MCMC.
They push it to another agency.
I think there must be a macro level solution rather than individual. Because crime is not really individualized. I punch you, then very clear it's individualized. Accident is individualized. But this one is not individualized. The system must come.
We need collaborators.
Could be also the law if they have any law.
Law is not healthy.
There's no law where you can charge you for cybercrime. You have committed this under this section, this section.
You must put it somewhere.
If they're really serious about it, they should revise the law.
Yeah.
That it should be part of it lah.
They've been studying since 2008. The law.
Studying too much. Studying is not
No,
good.
in Indonesia now, if you call, the caller's name appears. The caller's name appears.
You can actually use Truecaller because the name will appear as well. It's just that for those who don't download the app, they won't get the information.
Set lah yang apa tu cyber hygiene.
Semua orang tahu.
Not everybody knows even use it.
But then name pun kadang you can see. Kadang-kadang I got one chat who passed away, but somebody bought all the number. The name is still in.
Betul. Because it's already registered.
But when we buy a SIM card, we have to register, right? But that doesn't apply to all social media platforms, right?
Social media
Telegram too.
That is like very risky as well because yang tu paling senang
to hack and
so thousands of people can be in one Telegram account, right?
we don't even know who they are.
I got now a good friend. Bagi click now to get funding from social welfare or something. It's 1,000 for you, you know it's a scam.
Some people may be excited.
Yes, yes. Kalau you new to it lagi.
Someone called listen to 7,000.
Yeah. You're hoping it's true.
I said, who will send to me
Yeah.
7,000? The Palestinians and surround me. They
Ayah.
need.
Number 2 ayah.
Number 2, oh sorry. Okay, number 2,
Tahfiz itu
Passion, ya?
bukan Dr. Maiduri.
You go, I know.
Semua cakap kan.
Second presenter for this afternoon is Dr. Narobadi
Wah, terus
and
Islamic
Dr.
dia punya.
Azam Dr. Lain.
Tadi lambat air.
The topic is validating Tahfiz School Performance
Terus
Index
Islamic
with branch
element.
analysis.
Ni nak tanya pun tak reti.
Jangan tanya please. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, I'm very honored to present the paper on validating Tahfiz School Performance Index using brush analysis. This is not English paper but more of a research and data analysis method. So basically, this is a presentation of the index score for Tahfiz Performance School Tahfiz Performance based on brush rating model. Okay, the objective of this, not the objective of the study of Tahfiz School Performance, but objective of this paper is to assess the reliability and validity of Tahfiz Performance Scale and to estimate the index score of Tahfiz School Performance. So basically, we have developed an instrument, a quantitative instrument using survey, which was developed based on prior qualitative work and also subject matter experts validations, and at the end of it, the final instrument consisted of 59 items. So we need to know whether this instrument is actually measuring Tahfiz school performance. So that's why we ran rush analysis, because rush analysis could tell you whether it measures, it is robust enough to measure this phenomenon of Tahfiz school performance. So basically, looking at Tahfiz school performance index, the study was part of the FRGS grant, and there were 252 registered Tahfiz schools. So we selected Tahfiz integrated Tahfiz school, including science, Tahfiz science, and also the academic ones, not just Tahfiz the pesantren one, no. So there were like 52 registered schools which we selected from the whole Peninsula Malaysia. And basically, at the end of it, we are hoping that all the Tahfiz schools will be able, if they want to adopt this instrument, they will be able to measure their service delivery quality, right, and their performance. Because there were a number of constructs that we measured. Under these, they were like 8 constructs, if I'm not mistaken, on the vision, school vision, on the sustainability, SDG. This is a contribution of our study on the SDG, looking at the sustainability of Tahfiz in the long run. And there were 3 stakeholders involved in the data collection. They were school teachers, Tahfiz school teachers, administrators, and also alumni of Tahfiz. Okay, so at the end, the sample population, they were 1,384. And then, but in order to test, for rush analysis, we need to do some screening. The screening is to look whether with the 1,384, this rush analysis will be able to run further analysis on model fitness. So after we run the screening, it happens so that many of the respondents were dropped because they have high misfit for further analysis using rush. So, and remember I mentioned just now there were 59 items. After we did the screening, it was left only with 33 items, and the respondents that we managed to secure for further analysis was 800 plus. We'll have to look at the number, maybe 800 some plus. Okay, next. So it's quite a rigorous analysis, whereby if we look at reliability, because it looks at reliability, but more of construct validity. constructability. Because Rush model assumes that the instrument measures one dimension, unidimensionality, meaning that it measures one construct, even though we have many variables like supervision, facilities, administration of the TAFIS school, but it measures a bigger one construct, which is TAFIS performance index. Okay, so the analysis that we use included this: goodness of fit of measured items, reliability and separation indexes, response category functioning, dimensionality of the scale, and finally on the constructability and the TAFIS performance index. Okay, it was a rigorous one. And firstly, when we talk about Rush analysis, actually analysis of the mapping of the estimates of item difficulties and respondents' locations on the score. Okay, what it means is that we are not just looking at the traditional classical internal reliability score using Probe Alpha. Okay, but we are looking more into person fitness, person fit, and also item fit. Okay, so for example, in the classical statistical analysis to know the internal reliability test, they look at sample as a whole. But this one is looking at individual item and determining whether that individual item would contribute towards the fitness of the model or not. So if they are not fit, we move them out. If they are not fit, we move them out. Personalized. So each of you has. So we look at each person respondents standard error. Yeah. Standard error. So the look is different, right? Prof Sahari train us on this. Before, just he was WinStep. Using WinStep, Rush analysis model. So basically this is to really look into the instrument you develop. You should not be complacent with the Probe Alpha. Oh, the Probe Alpha is 0.89, it's good enough already. Yeah, but you know what? With the 1,300 plus respondents and also 59 items, all surpass the 0.8 using the classical Probe Alpha.
So kalau you take overall senang,
happy lah. Tapi if you really want to see whether we can develop index to measure TAFIS performance, we have to go a step further, looking into item statistics, person statistics. Okay, alright. So these are some of the look lah. Macam it's not familiar kan. Macam memang belajar tu memang pening lah, because it looks like the in-fit and out-fit mean square. For example, the in-fit should not be lower than 0.50 and the out-fit mean score should not be higher than 1.50. Okay, so if it's higher within that threshold lah, so those that fall below and above those score would have to be deleted. So we sacrifice a number lah. That's why in order for us to come up with index, we have to have a lot of respondents, because we cannot control the way they answer. Okay, and also we cannot be like short sendiri. Sometimes our items can be high in social desirability items. You understand? Social desirability items. Meaning, for example, sekolah TAFIS akan mengeluarkan graduan yang berwawasan tinggi.
How to measure?
Maksudnya, kalau orang sekolah TAFIS yang jawab, mesti dia kata, ya betul, sangat strongly agree. Because it was in PM, socially, because it's was in PM, socially desirable item. So at the end, with it was biased, so it had to be removed. So we really have to make sure that we fulfill the requirements when we design our survey questionnaire, so that they should not be double barrel, they should not be social desirable item. For example, as a Muslim, we have to perform 5 times obligatory prayers every day. How many times do you agree that we have to perform 5 days prayers? You wouldn't say strongly disagree, kan? So that's you already prompt them like to say that you should answer like this, kan? So really is a way for us to really look into details how our instrument is robust enough to measure the phenomenon, and it can also be used across time and space.
Wah.
Across time and space maksudnya bukan dekat luar in other
Dimension.
galactical dimension, but it's actually across time, meaning that it can be used in some other time, in other places, meaning that with other stakeholders, but they can somehow yield more or less the same results, meaning it's robust to be used in all of the tahfiz school establishment. So at the end of it, the index score ranged from 0 to 10. So the one that we did reached 6.2 according to the late prof, add more items and so on to replace those that we missed, kan? So that's basically lah this the Russian analysis modeling on this item.
So yeah, so that means this index, can we like sell this index?
Boleh, boleh. Tapi mungkin you punya klien tu kata, oh, I nak yang point 8 point ke atas, kan? So with this you can present and pitch lah, but then maybe I would say maybe we can do a modification and improvement, kan? So that will be a better one.
So Dr. Baduri, 6.2 tu is good.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So 5 is a average.
Macam tu.
I work with Sari full time. Very strong.
Yeah.
It's on their relationship of
Betul.
or item.
Ada
But you can also have dimension. Dimension.
Yeah.
I still using lower one, the perfect analysis. It's a very robust.
Robust and memang detail, yang kita kan kalau belajar dengan dia pun macam
Dia pakai software.
Winstead.
We brought in the first time was this Australian professor from Bonn. No leader brought.
No leader.
I was instrumental in paying for the fee. So we brought him. He was the first man to teach measurement. So I had the idea to set up the statistics in a unit. So he was training Sari. No leader. One or two chats more.
Yes, okay. From education.
From education.
Ada a few education. Ni. Bukan yang lama.
So the four of them who started off with this.
Satu lagi yang test measurement tu, siapa nama dulu dia kan co-ed tu, perempuan tu siapa?
Oh yang perempuan.
I know pun.
I know kan no leader. Dia
memang this tu lah
call the
kan.
nephew.
So Prof Sari dah tak ada kan. Rush analysis.
But
Tapi
the one who went deep was Sari.
Betul.
Sari went
Dia
deep.
cakap macam kita cakap tu,
Yeah.
Prof, I don't understand.
Like cause it's in his head kan.
Yeah, it's very good.
But I'm just
But
wondering.
unfortunately, we don't train others.
Itulah. Nak train? Siapa nak train?
They're going to be really good in statistic.
Specifically for a questionnaire.
Yes, it's quantitative. Yeah, for questionnaire.
Just asking, that means it's macam for questionnaire data yang we can still count, macam data mining tu semua tak boleh lah pakai ni kan.
Ini bukan data mining, it's nak tengok the instrument tu robust tak to measure. Kalau you claim that if you want to sell this to the industry kan, you can measure service delivery quality. Okay, and this is based and it's proven the index score on the rush analysis is this. You can sell, you can show all the details and the data.
Dr. Baduri,
Yeah.
minimal level for sample berapa?
Itu saya kata, dia tak boleh yang 500 tak cukup sebab
boleh
ramai akan
index.
gugur. Many will be dropped. Memang kita macam happy lah dapat 1,300 sebab takutnya tahfiz pun bukan ramai sangat dia punya kan. So kita sampel tu tiba-tiba 800 je tinggal. 400, 500 dah hilang. Sebab tu kena it's better to have more respondents.
More than 500.
Yeah.
What do you all group statistician together? What do you know that? Yeah, center.
Test and measurement lah. Test and measurement. We used to have that kan. Dekat SEPEC tu bukan test measurement ada. Kan ada dulu kan.
Yeah, but now there's no.
I think the strong tradition yang ni I think rationalism memang dekat education lah. I rasa kan Prof kan? Education. Dia memang banyak sedikit wrong. Yang secondnya is psychology. Tapi psychology guna rush ni. Education
kita UK and Australia.
Small number. Rush is a big number. Lagi satu dia. Apa nama apa tadi? Teaching sociology tu.
Azli.
Dia enjoy UM.
Oh, the guy itu psikologi ya?
Oh, itu psikologi Haris lah. Haris kan, Dr. Haris.
Haris dia. One more dia gitu.
Perempuan lagi.
Oh, UM. Dia selalu bagi ceramah.
Haris ceramah.
Dia selalu bagi ceramah yang jalan.
Yes, right.
Alizi.
Alizi. His name is
Alizi. Alizi ke?
Nampak lah.
Dia bukan UM, dia kerja dekat corporate. Dia tak masuk line ni dah.
Oh, ya ke?
Okay lah, ni kan.
I think that's good because we can go visit.
Okay, thank you very much.
But you dengan Siti Aisyah,
Aisyah.
We can group together.
Yeah. Steps.
Both of you are very strong in one.
Yes, very strong.
Yeah.
I know, but
we are in different areas lah.
But
no, at least go for.
technology itulah.
I'm dead. I'm 40 years old. Lupa dah. Gone.
Itulah sebelum ni bertiga tu Prof bagi I buku ni.
Allah.
Prof bagi so I baca buku ni tak faham. Tak kata lagi.
Okay, thank you Dr. Bayuri. Now we move on to the third presenter, Professor Dr. Safizan Muhammad. On topic digital parenting module to help Malaysian parents nurture digitally resilient children.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So I'm just going to present about one of my research. So this research is called, the project itself is called Digital Parenting Module to help Malaysian parents nurture digitally resilient children. So this is research that I conducted with Dr. Noshira and Dr. Shakira. Okay, so we started out with a problem that is faced by many parents, a problem that I face myself and I'm sure you will face also, with regards to digital technologies. Especially young children nowadays, right? They can swipe before they walk, and then people, as parents, we are always being said, "Oh, you're giving too much digital technology to your children," and you're being criticized as what we call it, lazy parents. But at the same time, you are also pressured to give the best digital education to your children because they keep telling you the future is digital. So as parents, we're always confused. Okay, how much is too much and what is just enough? So when we did the research, okay, how do we handle digital technology among children? We cannot just say no, we cannot give them 100% no, but at the same time, we cannot give them too much. So to understand, the theory is really to measure between the risk and the opportunity. Is that we must see digital technology as an opportunity because we cannot let our children be left out. But with every opportunity will come risk. So this is where parents, it's not easy to say risk, opportunity. How do we balance it out? So what we did was we want to look at what parents are thinking. What do they need? So we went on a survey. We surveyed 645 Malaysian parents. So we didn't do rash analysis, we do rushed analysis. Or rushed, very rushed. So we asked parents, and obviously parents are all quite positive, but they are quite apprehensive and nervous because they don't know what to do. So they're saying that, so actually what we wanted to know is whether parents want to be educated. Because we teach children, but do we teach their parents? Okay? And we found that yes, parents do want support. Dr. Zeti, can you just go back just now? They want support on knowledge and they want to learn. But of course, being parents, they don't want to go to school, they don't want to go to classes, they want to have
be school.
They don't want to be school. And then of course, some parents are already very well informed, some do not know anything. So they wanted a robust and modular kind of what we call it, education lah, digital parenting education. So we said, okay, the education that we provide, that must be provided to parents today, is that it has to be contextualized. And then we also found that there are a lot of digital parenting education available, but they're mostly very Western lah, Western centric. And if we follow most of these Western ideas, they're quite liberal by saying, let your children do whatever they want and let they learn on their own. So this is what goes back to the terms of resilience just now. In the Western context, resilience means let them fall, let them, be cyberbullied or whatsoever, and then they will learn through that. But we found that it's probably not so suitable in our culture and our religion. So we try to come up with something. So next, Dr. Letty. So of course, this is our way to transfer insights from research into impact. Okay, to innovate or to come up with something. So we came out with a 6 parts module. It's actually one module, which is the Keibawapaan Digital. We call it Module Kit. But we provide 6 parts where we have from basic to more, what do you call it? Basic, intermediate and more advanced. Okay, so but we did it. Novice tak payah. Kena masuk sekolah. So this one we of course like we said, okay, education and technology is always changing. So this is just to capture the basics that what we can give to parents now. So we provided a basic asas Keibawapaan Digital, and then we talk about ethics, the risk, okay, and also in terms of the actions that could be taken. So these are the different, as you can see lah, 6 parts module. Okay, but of course at that time we had a sponsor, so we told the sponsor that these modules are obviously, if to really realize it, it has to be continuous lah. It cannot just have like a book and it stays that way, because technology change and the content also must change. So we propose that these modules be placed online, because based on the research that we conducted, parents want it available easily. They don't want to go to classes or things like that. So yeah, so we actually offered them a prototype website, but was not taken up lah, unfortunately.
It's under the what? LPPKM.
LPPKM.
Macam pemerintah memang macam tu. Memang macam tu. It is so.
Okay, next.
Online.
Zeti. So actually, inside the module itself, although what we did was manual, we proposed for an online platform. Within the manual module, we set up activities also. Okay, we gave them links lah, because it's manual. And then we provide quiz, assessment, resource library. And we tried to say that these modules are learner and problem centered, because we have 6 parts. So for those who are already advanced, they don't have to go, they can just go straight to whatever that they want to learn. But if this was online, of course this thing would be more interactive. So yeah, the last slide. So basically that is it lah. It's just a tool, okay, for any parent who wants to raise tech-savvy, responsible and safe children in a digital age. Because obviously when we talk about the influence of technology on children, the best educator would be their parents lah. Okay, and by providing this knowledge and skills, we hope that we can create a healthier online environment for their children. Because the logic is we cannot be with our children all the time. We cannot monitor them 24 hours what they are doing. So we must give them the tools. So this is what digital parenting education should be. And this is what this hopes to give to the parents lah, a tool that they can use to help their children. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shafizan. Any questions? Yeah, on the respondent just now 600 plus. So they who are they?
Okay, so it's all only Peninsula Malaysia.
Who are they? Parents ke children?
Parents. Parents of children aged 7 to 12. So we took from all the states lah. So I think how many states? Just Peninsula je lah. Although we tried to make sure it's balanced between mums and dads, but obviously more mums answered the survey lah.
So based on the survey, the module was developed lah.
Yeah. we ask them what do they want, what do they need to know. Okay, so we try to incorporate that inside the module lah.
Have you ever test drive this module on real beneficiary?
No.
You should. You should.
Waiting for funds.
Yeah.
Test
No.
somewhere.
Because since the module is already there, so now you go to a stage whereby knowledge transfer. Knowledge transfer not to parents directly, but maybe to persatuan, ibu tunggal ke dan sebagainya. So that is much more sustainable rather than to go for the end user. So that you can build capacity building that you can measure from there.
I know. That's very good advice. Actually, of course, that's our intention. But right now, actually, we're stuck with PPKN because they own the modules.
Because itulah consultancy, they own the module.
And what
you can adjust.
Itulah, memang tengah ambil sikit-sikit je lah. So they take it and then it's just left quiet lah. So they did mention the other day want to do this, to do that, but never.
Like you, if you can share the process of coming up with the module, right? You have interviewed, you have 600 plus parents, and the survey form being, divided into these 6 that end up having 6 modules.
Of course, alright. The survey questionnaire did not just ask about the input for the modules lah, of course in general also. But the 6 parts ni we came up, first we had survey and then we interviewed the parents. And then we asked lah, okay, and then from the data together we put and then we sat down and identified that this is the 6 things that we can cover, because if you want to follow there is so many. So we came up with the draft and then the draft module went to expert reviewers. So we called psychologists, child experts lah. There were a few that they reviewed and commented, and then it went to LPPKN and they also reviewed and commented and we changed again. So that for now this is the final product.
When was the survey done?
2021. It was towards the end of COVID, but we did face to face, in person. It was not online.
Any other questions? If no, then we move on to the last presenter. Thank you so much, okay.
It looks delicious.
What's up? What's up, guys?
Tapi I
gembira.
What's up, guys? Ya, baguslah. Dia kan tak ada hutang. Dia hutang kereta je dia cakap. Betul lah.
Betul biasa.
Banyak.
Okay.
Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon, everyone. So today I'll be presenting about Khairul Amni. Basically, it's my paper is about the behavioral intentions of his audiences. Okay, so I'm not really sure if everyone knows Khairul Amni or not.
Prof tahu tak?
I heard what you
He's actually a very
he's an influencer.
he's an influencer, but he was
rich man.
But he was first an engineer before he becomes an influencer. He started in 2016 as a content creator for Rasa Pop, which is a different one. He was not really famous back then because he didn't show his face at first. And then after that, in 2018, if I'm not mistaken, he started to become more visible, started to show his face. And then after a while, in 2020 or 2021, he started his business, which is the Sambal Nyet Berapi.
Sambal Nyet is a sambal in the
it's a sambal in the
bottle. Everybody selling sambal now, bro.
Yes.
Me too, nanti.
So he has a few chops he has done a lot before he become a business owner. Okay, so and then for this study, even though he is actually very popular with his cooking videos, but we don't know how do his audiences perceive his videos. What are their intentions for watching his videos? So this study is actually done to understand the audiences better, to understand whether what are they actually looking for when they are watching his cooking videos. So according to previous studies, there are three main motifs for watching cooking videos. One is actually informational, which is to seek knowledge, and then the second one is recreational, watch during their leisure time or whatnot, and then the third one is emotional. If like say they are feeling hungry or whatnot, they want to watch cooking videos even more. And then so because of the shift from papers to digital, so it has also influences the way how the media shapes public opinions lah. So that's why we want to see the how they behave, what are their intentions as well. Okay, so there are five variables that I have looked at in this study. The first one is perceived usefulness. It is how the audiences perceive it to be useful, and then perceive ease of use, how easy and simple it is, likability towards celebrity, how they whether they like his personality or not, and then behavioral intention, whether what are their intentions for using the technology. In this case is the cooking videos, and then the dependent variable is whether they really cook after watching his videos or not. Okay, and then the methods that in this study, the sample that I've actually collected there are actually 177 responses. I've tried to approach Khairul Amin, but I've not received any responses at all. But for one of the social media platforms, which is Facebook, I managed to get him to view only, to read my
response.
Yeah, but no responses.
You scam.
I approached in all of his social media platforms basically. So all of them must be Malaysian, and they must be following any of Khairul Amin's social media accounts lah.
But does he exist?
He exists, bro.
No, I saw him at KLE's.
Yeah.
He was like thinking whether I want to buy this,
Did you approach him?
I approach my husband, kata jangan. My husband tak bagi I contact celebrity.
It's YouTube.
Yeah, okay, it's YouTube.
Because he is actually living nearby.
Yes.
That's why he often goes to KL is more. But then whenever we go there, whenever I go there, he was not there. So and
You should invite him to listen to your findings.
yes.
We're planning to.
And then for this study, I have used some model theory, and then there were two research questions that I've listed here. One is actually what are the relationships between the independent variables with the dependent variables, which is actual behavior. Actually, I circled the wrong ones. Actually, it's actually the below ones. Okay, so all of them and positive relationships. So which 0.60 to 0.72, and the lowest one is actually the likability towards celebrity, and the highest one is the behavioral intentions. Okay.
Terbalik
sepatutnya the lowest, the bawah one. I look at it wrong. So and then actually for the research question 2, which is whether behavioral intentions mediate the relationship between the IV and also the DV. Actually because all of them actually show significant partial mediation, all the three, which is PU, PEOU, and also LTC. It's just that I only put PU here. I use process microhaze for this analysis. And then okay lah. Then that's it. Okay. So so basically for this study I have found that audiences actually perceive Khairul Amin cooking videos as a tool that can enhance their cooking videos, because mainly we can say that they find the cooking videos to be easy, probably because of the short duration of the video. It's like 3 to 4 minutes only, and because short durations means that they can repeat the video more often. Okay, so it will be easier for them to understand the process. They can repeat more and more and such. And then And then it is also useful. Okay, so these two are actually correlated lah, basically. And then they also found Khairul Amin to have a favorable personality, because he seems very approachable. This is very down to earth, humble and such. And then another one is they also have the intentions to cook after watching Khairul Amin's cooking videos. Basically, watching his cooking videos motivated them to actually cook after that. Actually, okay.
Do they really cook?
Yeah. Some of them really cook.
They claim lah.
Remember, this is self-reported data,
Yeah.
So this is self-reported data. So they said they claim it.
Yeah. Females, the respondents.
I tried some of his recipe too.
Easy, right?
Easy, understandable.
I tried once. Only mac and cheese lah, because that was like the but my sister, she likes to try his recipes a lot. So memang it's like very easy to understand and such.
That's the sambal jet.
So this is
How
the
much is the sambal promo?
It's actually 14 ringgit.
40?
14 ringgit.
40.
Now it's 16.
For one bottle.
Now 60?
16 already.
15
But
Nasi mahal
if
sama
you are
sama.
using TikTok shop, it will be much less.
Buy TikTok.
Because you
Okay,
will get
after fake kan Semara beli fake.
really?
People also make a fake fake version of his sambal and sold it from. Kan ada kan last year.
Itu nanti beri sambal nyah. Bukan dia, sambalnya.
Boleh. Okay, so So as a conclusion, audiences really perceive his videos to be useful and simple, easy to use. They like his personality, and then they also plan to cook after referring to his cooking videos. But for this study, because the sample size is actually pretty small, which is 177 responses only. So we could get more opinions actually if I can get Khairul Amin to help me. Yeah.
And then you wrote him a lengthy email, right?
Yeah.
But it didn't work.
Send a video. Send a video instead.
Oh yes.
Expressing your
Or
intention.
maybe I can approach him using Instagram story. Because normally he will.
He thinks you're a stalker. Facebook you, email you.
Corena, or maybe you can try your luck. Go to his friends' restaurants, Mark Chili's. It's just nearby.
Oh really?
Because we.
Dekat Empat ni Melati kan?
Itu makan dengan kedai kereta. Duduk belakang punya.
Oh,
Dia selalu lepas situ kedai kawan dia.
Oh
my god,
memang stalker lah tunggu.
Mark Chili's.
Then you can do for the entire nation lah kan, and maybe different result in Kedah, in Terengganu.
So we do live lah when we meet him, We do live.
Yes.
But he's not chef.
That's right. He's not engineering.
Yeah, engineering.
Other than chef, one chef.
Yes.
Actually now many of the celebrities kan yang dia cooking, they are not chef.
Cik Nom is engineer also.
Really?
Yeah.
Engineer.
But one thing that because Khairul Amin he recently won an award, TikTok award. One of the things that he advised, because he told us to like finish your study first before you can actually proceed to become an influencer or whatnot.
Content creator.
So that I think it's a very good speech.
Yeah, that's good. Because you reminded people that it's not just for content creation, but you must do a content which with high quality kan, high quality thinking, and you need knowledge.
And then you need the PR as well, PR knowledge.
Jadi ada kan Dr. Mala also mentioned the same thing. Dr. Mala yang popular tu.
Oh yes,
she mentioned something like
that. That's his voice.
Annoying voice.
So are we getting a free sambal?
Itu sambal Amanina lah.
Itu next year punya conference ya.
Kita tunggu sambalnya.
Sambalnya.
Mungkin dari Dr. Madu.
Next conference sambalnya.
Okay. Janji ya. It's on YouTube.
Okay.
Thank you very much. You done? Any question?
Saya dapat opinion Lina juga kan. So because people are really like Khairul Amin kan, because his like way he portray himself in social media. But do you think that Khairul Amin actually is a different person outside social media? Because we never see him appear on televisions, on any radio stations or whatsoever. But he's really popular, and must be all of these, you know, like social TV station might want to call him and to approach him.
Better gear up.
Okay, next. Okay, any more questions?
That's all. That's all.
I just want to ask Prof. I don't know.
Prof.
I'll ask Prof.
I'm not on media. I'm on TikTok.
No, I think you asked a relevant question. That, has he been? Where did you get your literature regarding him? Is it written anywhere, or maybe we could also look at his, because he said nowhere. It's national. It's not known. So maybe we look at the personality, attributes, or his character, and then we look at the media, how it resonates with social media or new media, and then I don't know if the research he recognizes, is centered on an individual than other attributes or the model of how he does business, rather than the person himself.
I think they're looking at the product.
The product or the person?
The person.
Person.
Person, sorry. For
The
this
person
one
is the product.
Or the strategy, his marketing,
the
because
cooking videos as well. The
Yeah.
cooking videos. But kejap doktor.
because
I
if we
use
say
5
like the
variables.
person,
Yeah.
I use 5 variables.
Yeah.
So the likability is actually himself, the personality.
Yeah.
But the rest of it is actually on his videos.
On the videos, not on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Only one variable which measured about people's likability towards him. The rest are all thumb. The rest are all thumb established instrument.
Yeah.
But we just adjust it to Khairul Amin video on the technology.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, technology, yeah.
Yeah, it's a technology, the video.
Because thumb is technology.
Yeah,
basically
technology,
how you-
acceptance model. It's not
Yeah.
on him. Yes.
Oh.
So just the likability is in added variable. Yeah.
That's the added variable.
Is he, this is a marketing strategy, yeah? Not to be exposed to the traditional media, but traditional media will be more critical.
Yes.
More critical. They will examine like food, what is he involved with, Ajinomoto, social media, you can be alone by yourself upload. Traditional media will be more critical.
Maybe it will be hard for him to come up with a cooking show on TV.
Yeah.
TV, nanti people will still need chef.
Yeah.
Chef one. Because people who are following him are the one who remember. You won't be hearing other voices, just the voices that likes you. Yang tak like you won't be following. Kalau macam keluar kat mass media,
Dan makcik pula tengok dia masak, tiga je jap benda dia masak dia nak. Sebab he cooks like makcik kan.
Dia ikut lah makcik Ana. Dia kata, alamak salah lah. Ada apa lah dia kata macam. Sesaja macam salah masuk ingredient kan.
He also received responses from the, medical doctors.
Yeah,
as
Dr.
well.
Rafida.
Yeah,
Yeah,
about
yeah.
how he cooks and such.
Yeah, Dr. Rafida complained about he's using a lot of
Excessive.
oil in his cooking.
Yeah.
Because he's such apa tu kan, dia kan terkenal, so he should be more responsible when showing using oil kan in his cooking. So dia kata kalau nak goreng macam ayam goreng takkan.
Farida tu kena tengok Korean ni.
Korean
maybe
life,
then
Korean
dia giving apa tu,
fried.
all sort of drinks kan untuk bilang puasa, so sweet.
The way that they respond on Farida, Rafida, Dr. Rafida, the way he responded to Dr. Rafida punya comment. Dia
Beradab.
very simple, like life is about balance. So dia tunjuk yang dia exercise.
Dia pandai, dia
Tapi
pandai.
dia exercise, dia jaga. So the
Oh,
way
yang
dia
makan
respond
tak?
was also very strategic.
Dia very smart.
Very smart lah, very smart.
And then in fact dekat social
Dia
media
smart.
account dia pun dia tunjuk juga healthy food. It's just that he didn't make any videos for it lah.
Dia lari daripada TNM ni
dengan anjing-anjing tu.
Dengan anjing baru ni.
Tiba-tiba dia best friend dengan anjing-anjing tu.
Masa dia hiking tu. Tapi people will like, other people non-Muslim will like him.
And that people who follow him also tak ada siapa pun komen.
Sebab dia orang suka dia.
Nah, sebab dia orang suka. Saya cakap lah tadi. Yang tak suka tak ikut.
Itu kan animal rights.
Yelah, tapi dia suap-suap dia anjing tu.
Lepas tu sama ada.
Yelah, dia tak tunjuk lepas tu
Dia ambil sudu pula suap you.
Tak ada. People tak condemn dia kan pasal because people understand that dia memang good spirited.
People understand because people like him. Cuma kau tak suka.
Yelah, ada perception tu
Dia
lah.
buat betul pun.
Tapi hari kan macam I mean like when his PA, previous PA buat hal hari tu, he actually
betul.
Kan dia responded like in a very diplomatic way and such. So I think
So you should apply. Saya ada vacancy untuk PA dia dah.
Suruh dia
dah ada PA dah. Tak ada PA dia jadi I nak study dia je lah. No. I nak study pasal
juta-juta foto kot. Buat dia tu.
Okay, so thank you so much for your presentation, and thank you to all presenters. We shall end the session now, and there will be a closing session.
Yes, at Atabari.
Sekarang ya.
Before we now adjourn for tea break.
Yes.
Tea break.
Ada tea break kan?
Yes.
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 Ya, saya nampak dah.
You will be getting your